From author Brian K. Morris comes a classic hero in a high-flying, fast-paced, and action-packed steampunk adventure. The original Skyman battles the Master of Steam with an introduction by comics icon and historian Roy Thomas. A Rising Tide, an Ace Comics publication. Available now in print or digital format on Amazon.com.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, and former mortician's assistant. Beware, beware. That might not be a phone jingling in your pocket. Join the Nevermorians for morning mischief and madness at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Your sense of humor is the only thing you need to wear.
And good morning, everyone. How the heck are you? Welcome to the January 11th, 2020 episode of Nevermind the Furthermore, Creative Conversation and Covfefe. Good morning. Anyway, I'm your host, Brian K. Morris, welcoming you to another week. And hopes we get this one right. Last week's kind of a wash. But anyway, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Brian K. Morris. And if you're watching us live, we love it. Please leave a comment and interact with us. Please leave a reaction. We love that too. If you're watching us on the reruns, we hope you like what you see. And we hope you'll come back and check us out more and more. If you're watching us on Facebook, on the Rising Tide Publications Network, or on the Rising Tide or the Rising Tide network page soon, coming to Facebook. We welcome you. Please, if you enjoy any part of this video, give it a like, and please give a like to the page. Rising Tide Publications page has content constantly, and we would love your support. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, on the Brian K. Morris Rising Tide Publications Network page, or the Geek Insider page, please, if you enjoy any part of this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that thumbs up button. Also, please subscribe to the page. It helps us so very much. Also, please ring that bell or tingle it or tickle it just a little. It likes it on the underside, and you'll be notified of any notification. You'll be notified of any future broadcast. My honey was laughing at my stumbling there. She's in the studio next door, so we'll expect some interference during the next 2 hours. Anyway, also please. We are a proud part of the Rising Tide broadcast network, which includes Stupid O'Clock and TED Talks and many other wonderful shows. So please follow those shows as well and support them as you have me, which is greatly appreciated. This show is brought to you by Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you because it matters to your readers. So if you need a book cover, book trailer like you saw at the start of the episode, or if you just need some advertising graphics, contact Jeffrey Hayes at plasmafiregraphics.com. Also check out his Facebook page because he's awesome. And also please check out geekinsider.com, which is powering this show. They've got a variety of wonderful shows to view and to learn from, as well as Wild One Forever, Meredith Loughran's fantastic weekday morning show. So check them all out, please. And so now we turn to your comments. Hope you all had a good weekend. My weekend was a little hectic. We had a router go out on us, and that created quite an adventure or two. And so for almost a full day, we were without power. But given how toxic Facebook is currently from both sides, I was just as glad to have the time off from there. I miss talking to my friends and checking up on things. But aside from straight news, everybody's, and I mean on both sides. I'm in the middle. I'm a libertarian. So I think both extreme sides are full of crap. But it's those extreme sides that were getting to me. And I find it interesting that so many people were talking about, well, I'm leaving Facebook forever. It's full of censorship. Most of the people who are saying that have no idea what true censorship truly is. Because you have, as somebody explained it, and believe it or not, it was Rush Limbaugh who pointed this out, that you have the right to speak, but you don't have the right to be heard. But anyway, if somebody doesn't choose to put your comments up or or host your rantings, then so it goes. Anyway, because I've had stuff that Facebook's not put up, but I don't get bent out of shape about it. But anyway, I've only lost one person from somebody leaving. Everybody has spent a lot of time saying, well, I'm leaving. And it's like, excuse me. And it's, I'm waiting for somebody to get to the point where to say, well, just leave already. So anyway, let's get back to more pleasant stuff. Let's talk about creativity and you guys, because you guys are more awesome than I'll ever be. So here we go. And who is the first one today? Trevor Hawkins at 9:43 a.m. If my memory serves me, if you didn't just ignore me. My memory serves me poorly most of the time, but anyway, and Trevor is followed by the dark mistress of the Dark Church, the Rising Tide herself, Sarah. Mwah, hope you're feeling well this morning, honey. Trevor, we're hanging in there. My sister's still sick, but not bad enough to have to go to the hospital. Thank goodness. That's good to hear. And you stay safe too, okay? This world needs you, Sarah. It really does. And Trevor is saying hello to some people. And yeah, good news. And yay from Carl Witzman. Good to see you, buddy. Hope your weekend went well. And yes. And too bad the Dark Pope couldn't anoint the family with Kraken. There we go. Hey, we live close enough, Carl. We could make a emergency, emergency visit down there and anoint everyone with Kraken, because alcohol is a purifier, That's what surgeons use to clean their implements and such. That's what my barber used to clean his combs when you need a barber. But and Carl, I'll do my part as a member of the Dark Church. I will hear Sarah's confessions of all her sins. You may have to go out and get us all lunch and dinner, but anyway, with any luck. Anyway, we love you, Sarah. And good morning, Ted Davies Artistry. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far, and looking forward to tomorrow's TED Talks. Talk us up now. And talk it up, and let's hear about what you're going to be discussing soon. And Carl Westman, Facebook is acting funky now. Usually does. Or would that be a sprinkling? It's Sarah's. Now I need good thoughts sent to the family, as an aunt recently found out she has a cancerous brain tumor and is in surgery as we speak, folks. I am a believer in power of prayer and the power of positive energy. Please send that to Sarah's aunt and to Sarah and her family, because I know from waiting on people when they're undergoing the surgery that it can be exhausting, it can be draining, and please send energy and light to Sarah and her family as well, because it's this is just the first step of the journey. But Sarah, please keep us posted. We hope to hear good results. Gospel Illusionist Jake Lindsay says, hey, pardon me, hey Brian, I found out something really awesome. I've been talking to my magician mentor, telling him about the new gospel show idea, telling him about talking about Jesus, and he says he's proud of me. I am too, Jake. It's, I feel that anybody with a good message, a positive message, and we're not going to get into the relative merits of what religion versus, which one, whether you're, Catholic or Baptist or Wiccan, or you serve the flying spaghetti monster. Bob Dylan said everybody's got to believe in something, and we're glad that you are spreading a message of positivity and joy through your talent. All right, and sorry, Sarah, us too. And Ted Davies starts asking, Sarah, you doing okay? And Carlene, mwah, as always. The Dark Misses of the Dark Church. Glad to see you. And sorry to hear about your aunt, as are we all. And Ted and Carl are saying hello. And so, Carly, so why is the Flash, or is that Shazam, wearing a wedding veil? Huh? Oh, no. That was, my picture on today's episode. No, that was just a strange arrangement of background elements. That was taken at the Superman celebration. And I was going as Uncle Dudley Marvel. I didn't notice it till it posted last night, and by then I was too tired to give a damn about changing it. I thought that's a nice picture. We'll keep it in. But it looks like I've got this long flowing head of hair. Well, Uncle Dudley never did. It's first time for both of us. And hanging in there, Ted, says Sarah. Sarah, thanks for asking. It's been crazy lately, but I'm still plugging along. Well, Sarah, if you need a dry shoulder, I am available. All right. And did Teresa drop off? She never answered Trevor. Did I miss Teresa? Oh, my goodness. Did I miss Teresa? I'm sorry, Teresa. Teresa, come back. All right, if you were here. And hey there, Dark Misses. I think those are wings on his head. Wings. Okay, yeah, sure, you bet. Or a bad presidential type comb over. That's true. That could be. I never thought of it that way. No, mine would be a good one. No, I refuse to have a comb over. I remember I was in 8th grade. I was living in outside Washington, D.C., and we were in junior high school. It'd be now middle school. And I remember our math teacher had a comb over. You can always tell when the part starts right above one ear. And he was in line to get lunch. And I was already sitting down, thank goodness. But they were serving hot soup that day. And it was in the early part of summer. And I remember the back door to the cafeteria the serving area was open. It was like we sat in a gymnasium. We all ate there, and then you went into this room for the cafeteria servers to give you your food, and then you came back out and ate with the rest of the classes. And it was kind of a mind screw because the people I was eating lunch with, we had more people in that lunchroom than we probably had in my high school total when I went back to Illinois. But anyway, this teacher was getting his soup, and he had a tray full of food, including this hot soup, and a strong breeze came through and blew his comb over, so exposing his glorious baldness. And he threw the tray up in the air and was trying to get his hair back like he was the Flash or something. You mentioned the Flash, Carly. He's trying to get his hair back in place. And here's the soup hovering in the air, and we're all like, waiting for the worst to happen. So yeah, we don't do comb overs. And Trevor Hawkins knows the truth. He's Uncle Marvel. And Gospel Delusionist Jake says, I found my new catchphrase from Blues Brothers. They can't get us. We're on a mission from God. There you go. That's perfect. And yes, and I think the hairpiece blends into the tent behind. Yes, that was Trevor. And Trevor will know what I'm talking about. That was during the Sunday afternoon parade of costumes. When they had the Superman celebration in Metropolis, Illinois. Hopefully this year, Trevor, they had a parade of people walking up and down the main thoroughfare wearing their costumes. And that year I was going as Uncle Marvel from the original Captain Marvel family. That picture had like James Harmon. He was Clark Kent. You can see him in the picture behind me. And also, I was walking with Josh Boltinghouse, one of the finest human beings on this planet. And I remember talking to him. That's who I'm looking at. But I decided to trim everybody else out of there as best I could because I don't really have. Those are pictures, I don't really have permission to use the people in them. I don't want to embarrass them. So anyway, just being with me is embarrassment enough. And there they are, the Historical Fencing Guild. Nick, how are you doing this morning? Good morning, all. Question, do any of you use an ergonomic keyboard? I really don't want to have to try to type my next novel on my phone. Do not use your phone. Phones are evil. Phones are evil. I don't, but I hear all kinds of great things about the ergonomic keyboards where you can basically have your hand, rather than using your hands like this, and instead you can do this. It takes a little getting used to build up speed, but I know what you mean, Nick. I think I'm developing a little carpal tunnel myself in my right hand. No, it's not from that. But anyway. And speaking of naughty, be sure to tune in tomorrow night when we have Kara Nicole on Clever Tile Pending. She is fun. She is great. She's a wonderful, amazing cosplayer, as well as a comic book writer and colorist, as well as a broadcaster. And currently she has a Kickstarter going that we will be talking about tomorrow. And she has raised quite a bit of money. And if you want to learn how to make an effective Kickstarter or what it takes to get ahead in cosplay, she is fantastic. Excuse me. She is amazing. And you will love her. And tomorrow's show may be not safe for work, so be sure to tune it up loud when you're in the office on Wednesday. But anyway, that's at 8 p.m. tomorrow night on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, and we hope you enjoy it. And we hope you bring some great questions for Kara. She is she's fiery herself. We've known each other for about 5 years. She is hilarious. She is wonderful. She's got a great heart, and she's smart as a whip. In addition to being beautiful, so we expect some great questions from you guys. Anyway, Sarah says that's not new, Jake, but it's cool that it's new to you. Yeah, and it's not, but it's how you apply it. Like I was talking to somebody yesterday about a plot. Like if all of us who write here were given the same plot idea, we would all, if there were 10 of us and we were given the same plot idea, you'd wind up with 10 completely different stories, except for that one germ of an idea. Excuse me. So, it's how you do it, not necessarily what you do. So anyway, no, it's good that you're finding your voice, Jake. I think that's it. And there she is, Teresa Dunn. Trevor Dunn, someone else. Teresa Dunn. I'm sorry, no Trevor, because this time their internet wasn't working well. Okay. And Nick Tucker is addressed by Carl Wisman saying, I used to use an ergonomic keyboard. Nick, I loved it. I was so sorry when it eventually broke. I think you can still find them. I still see them like on at Staples and such. You don't see them as much, but that could be. And I think you're right. I think there's a white umbrella in there somewhere. Yeah, I think it was a white tent that was behind us, because that was taken along the main thoroughfare and both sides of Market Street in Metropolis during the celebration are lined with like food vendors and book vendors, mostly comic book and various and sundry other people. And hey, Teresa, says Sarah. Hello, Sarah, says Sarah. It says Teresa Dunn. And that is an umbrella or merch tent top. I see it now. And did they reschedule you, Teresa? And Trevor Hawkins, yes, Teresa had an interview with someone, and yes, tomorrow at 3. Looking forward to the glorious results. And that photo was from Metropolis, says Trevor Hawkins. The Superman celebration. I forget the year. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't either. I was trying to remember what it was. I should have looked at the time signature on the original, but that would have been about 6 or 7 years ago, I think. Because I haven't done my Oracle thing for it would have been much more than 7 years. I think it's closing in on 10, maybe 8 or 9, because I haven't really done any major cosplaying since I moved to Indiana. And we're nearing our, 7th year here. We've been here almost 7 years. Time flies when you're having fun or wrestling with routers and people who don't speak English well. Anyway, I talked to Jason Snyder about NonCon 6. He says he is a table save for you, Gospel Jake. I'm glad to see that. NonCon, which is a wonderful, wonderful show, check out their, they have a page here on Facebook, and it's free admission inside a haunted school. I don't have my notes here for that, but I got to get that written up in my planner. But no, it's a fantastic show, and it's spooky AF. That's the best way I can describe it. It is very scary. And Carleen, or it could be, if you're of that type. Anyway, Carleen, what was the Flasher Shazam doing when Metropolis getting beat up by Superman? Laughs loudly at her own joke. I'm on good terms with Superman. Besides, you don't mess with Uncle Marvel. He's the one who defeated Black Adam. And Teresa Dunn says, I also have good news. I am now a part of the Iowa Poetry Association. There you go. Networking, girl. Networking. That's what we wants to see. And Carlene's looking out the window and wishes she hadn't. Yeah, I saw that S word, a little bit of the S word on my windshield this morning. So we're going to ignore it till it goes away. And the Historical Fencing Guild says, thanks, Carl. The braces make typing dental visit grades uncomfortable. I now hunt and peck with my pinkies. Oh, you poor man. And Teresa wants to know how Carly is. And congrats, Teresa, from Carly and Historical Fencing Guild. Yay, Teresa. Everybody's congratulating Teresa. And Carly's up. And Teresa's doing good. And Carlene's going to top off the coffee cup before Brian gets here. Wait a minute. We are that far behind. Holy crap. And well, after the lawsuit, Superman and Captain Marvel weren't on speaking terms for a long time. I'll let Brian riff on that saga. Yeah, that's true. As comic aficionados know, almost from the start of Captain Marvel's career, especially when Captain Marvel started outselling Superman, the DC actually had some of their editors, their main tasks were to find similarities between what went on in the original Captain Marvel family of comics and the Superman family of comics. I saw a wonderful interview done, a 3-part interview done in Alter Ego a number of years ago with George Cashton, who was a writer and editor at DC for many, many years. And he said one of his first jobs was to basically go through every Captain Marvel book and every Shazam book and find the least little similarity between the two, whether it was a pose or even dialogue that might have been similar, like, hey, you. Hey, Captain Marvel said, hey, you, they're ripping us off. Well, what happened was DC actually lost the first couple of lawsuits. And they didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, Trevor, but they didn't exactly lose the last one when they were up in front of the famous Judge Learned Hand. But it's just that the tastes of the comic buying public had switched radically, and Captain Marvel was kind of out of vogue, and even Superman was not as popular as he was. Mostly crime and funny animal comics at this point. And so Fawcett, the original publishers, settled out of court with DC, and part of the settlement was that DC controlled the trademarks on and copyrights on the Shazam family of magazines, and eventually DC would license them from the original corporation in the early 70s, eventually buying the characters outright, like they did the quality characters in the mid 50s. So anyway, that is the short version. And Teresa Dunn is still part of the Iowa Poetry Association. And here we go. Gospel Jake says, in your opinion, Brian, of all the Bible events, which one would you want to experience seeing, like the walls of Jericho, David and Goliath, etc.? Excuse me. Walls of Jericho would be cool. I'd also like to be there at the fall of the Tower of Babel. I think that would be interesting as everybody's struggling to try to communicate to each other. In fact, I wrote something that may come out in a year or two that touches on that. Anyway, Grant Lankard, good morning to you. Hope you had a great weekend, Grant. Good to see you here. And good morning, Joe Dog McKeel, part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Good to see you here. Good morning to you, my friend. Hope you had a great weekend. Historical Fencing Guild, I tell you what, all this morning stuff is really weird after all the midnights. Yeah, you're up kind of early. Aren't you? Or you're just not gone to bed yet? I saw Xander crashed on you the other night. All right, let's try to keep religion and politics out of today's discussion if we could. Yeah, stop me if I can, if I ever catch up. And hey, Joe Dog. And Willow Schuyler, good morning, my friends. How are all of you today? I am awesome. And I hope you are doing well, too. Willow, you had a fantastic interview with Kara Nicole and Lisa Malone last night. And if Lisa wants to come on the show tomorrow night with Clever Tile Penny, I hope she does. She's fun. Anyway, that was a great interview. You did a great job on it, Willow. Please leave a link to that interview if you could, because it was a fantastic. Willow did a great talk. Excuse me. I don't know what's wrong with my sinuses this morning, but anyway, Willow had a fantastic time on Willow's Pillow Talk. I could tell you were having fun. Great comments. Great discussion. Really loved seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing Kara. And I've only talked to Lisa a little bit. We were on another show together one time, just kind of in passing. Anyway, we were on saying hello to them, and I found Gospel Jake found out the Moses story that happened in Egypt. You can still see the evidence from it from when the plagues happened. That's interesting. And let's see, that is interesting. And let's see here, I am assured that the StreamYard will do something about the comment dumps. I hope. Oh man, we are so far behind. And Carl Witzman offers, and Ted Davies is talking to us now from Facebook. Good morning to you, Ted. Glad to see you brought the coffee. And Carl Witzman, what did you want to know about the Ergo keyboard? It really helped my wrists. And true that, Trevor. More watching than have liked, about to bring out the cat of nine tails, or even worse, she might not. So think about that. Gospel Jake says, O'Brien, I meant to tell you that if you're in Ohio, I found a Christian bookstore that sells lots of awesome books. I might be wrong, but I think Kathy Jackson's books are there. Oh, cool. Well, good for her. And Charles F. Millhouse. Charles, good to see you, buddy. Great interview the other night with Paul Ruff, and good to see you here this morning. And I've already started writing the green-lighted story. Yes, we are going to be going to the typewriter today and punching out a story featuring, oh man, Captain Hawkland and Doc Saga. I am so excited. I really am. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then we're going to finish up my other book, and then I've got to work on Bobby Nash's stuff. So anyway, the Historical Fantasy Guild, and good morning to everybody. I am too slow a typist to catch. I was hopping off via my phone. Just wanted to get in before the half-hour lag to say hi. Well, hi. And John B. Pica, good morning. I'm still seeing a traffic jam on the interstate heading into downtown Nashville. Well, I hope you're there by now, man. Really. Oh, good morning, John. Back in the cereal box, Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. on YouTube. Check it out. And Carl Witzman, try stuffing cigar into the LAN cable for Teresa, makes a mess. And Ted. Oh, yeah. And howdy, John. And liked and shared No Dark Mistresses, Carlene. Oh, and if you haven't liked my Skylar Productions page, says Willow Skylar, yet here on Facebook, then you need to do so after the show. Willow, I'll up that. And say that I would understand if you left me right now to give a like to Willow Skylar's page. Please do that. She is running some great interviews. I love her presence on the camera. She is as beautiful as she is gorgeous and intelligent. I realize I was redundant there, but I don't care. Anyway, Willow, mwah. All right. And please put in a link if you would. Please help my people make it easy on them. It's early. And Brian Robin says, good morning, my fellow Brian, Nevermorians. With our powers combined, we can overcome the gloomy dooms of last week and create some amazing works for others to run to and be inspired to make this world a better place. Let's do this. I'm starting, man. I'm gonna be hitting the typewriter later today. I'm gonna bang out some wordage for Pulp Reality number 2, which, by the way, if you haven't gotten Pulp Reality number 1, you will suffer the scorn of your peers. This is a fantastic book. You will love it. And I know I'm behind, but we got to say some nice things about it. All right. So let's scroll down to the and I had to look for it because I moved some of the, I got rid of a couple of the ads I don't use. So anyway, why should you buy Pulp Reality? Here's why. On Amazon.
Stormgate Press presents a collection of 7 new short stories from today's leading authors and illustrators in the new pulp genre. Experience courageous two-fisted heroes and their intrepid and often dangerous exploits. From dark, watery depths to high-flying heights, these fantastic tales span the globe and take the reader on fast-paced adventures in classic pulp style. Take a seat as we pull back the curtain on Days Gone By with edge-of-your-seat storytelling in the vein of Golden Age era pulp fiction. This is Pulp Reality. Available now from Stormgate Press on Amazon.com.
So check out Pulp Reality #1, and please, when you're done, please leave a review on Amazon. It is so very helpful. It really is, and just takes a couple minutes of your time. And William Pace from Facebook, good to see you, William. Hope your morning's going well, my friend. And Carleen from YouTube says, and I have 2 cups of coffee beside me, and am about to light up. I might wake up soon, man. Oh man, you puff up away from me too. I was going to be here on time, but then I got a call from Xfinity customer service because I left them a poor review on Saturday night when I got called. Well, it's the unfortunate thing was, and I told them the main thing I had, that it all worked out in the end, but you had the phone banks who couldn't get my name right, couldn't get Cookie's name right, and then this guy gets on, and he does a good job. You can tell he's very fluent in English. He's still got an accent. I'm not trying to make this a racial thing. It's just that I would have tough time pronouncing his language but he is evidently better at my language than I am. But he starts out by calling me, may I speak to Carl Morris? And I'm like, there's no Carl Morris now. And he goes, well, I'm from following up on your complaint the other night when I didn't get much help. And it sounded like the only way they'd help me was if I paid money. And I bought programs recently that had a money back guarantee, but it's like, I want my, they weren't perfect. So I said, I'd like my money back. And then it takes a while to get that money back. And I said, I wasn't in the mood to be extorted. So, and she wouldn't let me talk to anybody. And if I could have talked to somebody and realized they knew what they were talking about, then yeah, I'd pay it. I'd even pay it after the fact, even after we got it fixed, if possible. But, she wasn't having it, and I wasn't either. So, but I did get great service from Xfinity. The local store here is amazing. They are fantastic in there. And the customer service I called on Sunday afternoon after I got my new router and couldn't quite get the router and my computer and the service to talk to each other. Got that going, and everything's fine now. So I left was very positive, and I told the guy that I always make sure they know when they do things right. I said, but you got to do something about the name thing. In fact, the girl the other night was alternating between calling me Carol and Ryan. And I said, no, if you really respect the customers, you really got to get their names right. And I don't have that. Neither of us have that difficult a name. And our voices are rarely confused with each other. And he took it down and he said, he said, I'm not going to, he introduced himself under his real name. I don't remember what it was, unfortunately. But he said, I call our call center and they have problems with it too. And he said it kind of gets under his skin as well. And I said, well, then you know what I'm talking about. And he's like, yeah, I do. We'll fix it. So anyway, that's why I got here like 1 minute before I was supposed to. So if I'm ill prepared, that's why. And John, I'd rather you drop an F-bomb than that S word there, okay? And hello, Brian, Charles F. Millhouse. It's a new week. Let's hope it's a better one. Let's make it that way, Charles. Like I say in the song, out here on the streets, we got it under control. So let's create this week, folks. Let's just, whether you're talking about bladed weapons or games or short fiction or your novel or poetry, make new art. Art improves the world for everyone. And if more people would make more art, this would be a far better, kinder place. All right. And Carly has on YouTube says liked on the Facebook page too. Oh, Dark Mistress, you are certainly earning the favor this morning, Carly. We love you. Joe Dog McKeel. Well, I burned our Christmas tree yesterday. It took me forever to keep that plastic sucker lit. On a relay, and my wife is really pissed off at me too. I can't imagine why. How very efficient of you. And the ozone layer was just getting too thick. So good way to go. Way to do your part. Sarah, I'm the dark zombie mistress this morning. I'll take an IV drip of caffeine, please, and thank you. Why do I see you like shambling into the kitchen, opening, tearing open the top of a can of ground coffee and just tilting it back and starting to chew the grounds? I would I have. Grant Laker, my wife's boss keeps scheduling her to work late, then come in early the next morning, and then she doesn't drive, so I have to drive her. My brain feels fried. I know that can be rough. And part of the scheduling of this show for a while was revolving around when my wife would work, because she had cataract surgery about a year and a half ago. And part of her problem was she couldn't drive at night. Excuse me, because everything was just like, the lights would shine in her eyes and she'd be blinded. Literally, she just couldn't see a lot of detail too. So I started driving her to and from work, and so I had to adjust the times of my shows to accommodate. But that's what we do for our wives. Is that not right? Is that not true, Grant? We are awesome. We are awesome husbands. And Willow Schuyler said, I had a great interview last night with a great cosplayer, actress, comedian, singer, and comic creator Kara Nicole and her manager Lisa. Thank you to those of you who stopped by to ask questions and supported the show. I have to, I don't think I'm memorable, Willow. I keep finding out I'm wrong. But I remember I met Kara Nicole at C2E2 a number of years ago. This was about 5 or 6 years ago. And we hit it off because we were both naughty. She asked me how I felt about Power Girl, and I said usually I'd start at the ankles, but boom, crash. And we kind of hit it off from there. And then the next year, I went up to visit a mutual friend. And I knew Kara was there, and I thought I'd stop by. And I told, and Cookie was with me this time. She wasn't the first year. And so I was like, I don't know if she'll remember me. I'm pretty faceless. And my friend could see her. She could see Kara. She was 2 rows over. And he looked up and he grinned and he said, no, Brian, she remembers you. Take a look. And I could look down the way and I saw Kara with the brightest smile on her face, and she was shaking her boobs like a pair of maracas at me. And I'm like, I think I need to go over and talk to Kara. So anyway, she is fantastic. And again, we did the show in Springfield, Illinois about almost 2 years ago. Remember when we were doing shows? Does that bring back the flood of memories? And I, of course, was telling Cookie she won't remember me. She won't remember. She sees so many cool people. She won't remember me. And I remember I'm walking to the restroom. She's walking in. She looks at me and goes, haven't seen you in a minute, Brian. Well, how the hell are you? And I'm like, okay. And it was a great weekend. But anyway, I've made sure I stayed in touch since then. She is amazing. You were amazing too, Willow. You really were. I can tell you're getting more comfortable interviewing people, and you were marvelous last night. Really, I think it's one of your best interviews ever. In all seriousness, Willow, and you do some great ones anyway. So there. And Jake Lindsay says we finally got through the horrors last week. We trusted in God and we got through it. There we go. And plug your ears for a minute, Carl. We had a moment last week that tried our souls, and we're still dealing with the aftermath of it. And it's going to be a pretty tense, another week and a half of, watching the news, praying things don't explode. And, we'll get through it together. You, me, God, whoever you worship, we're all the Nevermorians are going to get through this together, and we're going to be fine. And extra cigars and rum for you, oh Dark Misses, says Sarah. She's handing out the treats, and Carleen, the Dark Misses, is agreeing. And Christian Basil, to the 50,000 member man, and he's big into members. Anyway, arise, Monday morning, Morris Monster, arise. Find the mischievous fool who neglected to shout Jumanji at the midnight hour that brought us into the year of the foul maker of smells. Very well said. And Cookie's leaving. She's had enough of me. Anyway, and the hashtag catfisting will commence until the morale improves, and smile when you've had enough. There we go. Well, what if we want more and we can't help but smile? And Kyle Guthrie, good morning. Oh, wait a second, Kyle. Hold on. Thank you. May I have another? Thank you, sweetie.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
That's why I was leaving.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm even better. It's for a good cause, and I'm always glad to see you leave because I know you're coming back.
Yep.
Yes, I love you, honey. All right. And join Glowcat and Skunk Rocker every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, for Scrubhouse Video Club Live, a discussion on schlocky cinema, from cheesy horror films to brainless action flicks, dumb kids movies to insane martial arts pictures. The SVC loves it all. So easy to watch with 3 different platforms that even a chud can do it. It's on Facebook, it's on Twitch TV, and it's on YouTube as well. And this statement has not been validated by the FDA. It's dangerous, and that's the way I like it, Kyle. Yeah, check out the Skunk Rocker. If you love him on the Stupid O'Clock, you will love him on Scrubhouse. I was watching the rerun last night, in fact. Good stuff. Really good stuff. And Carlene, Joe, you might make it through. You should know how to appease us Donnas. There you go. And John B. Pica, Will Schuyler, I'll have to check that rerun. I was out back leading a haunted ghost tour of Nashville last night. Well, good for you, John. I'm glad you got the gig, man. Very cool. And this week, says Brian Rodman, the Dingoes will be holding our super secret. So secret, I'm telling you in public. Meaning, as we gear up to start recording again this month. To catch up on the show, head on over to the Dastardly Dingoes bit.ly address there and join the Dastardly Dingoes podcast and all of our nerdy shenanigans with some amazing guests. Folks, we have such a great time. Join us. We do. I've been on a couple of those, and they have been a riot. It's like, it's amazing. It's great. And YouTube camera fuzz. Add some to your coffee and bring out the flavor today. Comics Talk with Pop Van Zandt. Pop's, good to see you, brother. Hope you're having a good morning. And Christian Basil, Dark Mistress. Tasty. And sorry I missed it. I'll check out the rerun, Willow. Yeah, check out Kara Nicole. She is a delight. And love you, my altar boy. And from Sarah and Carlene. Speaking of rum, looks at the coffee Kraken. Too early? Nah. Releases the Kraken. And Scott Crocker says, okay, I got the ad copy written and saved so I can send it out easier when I'm at work. Anyway, hi, Brian. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Nevermorians. It's raining. Well, at least you got rain. We got a little bit of that S word up here, it looks like. Just a little sprinkling on my windshield, which is just about the way I want it. So anyway, stay safe, Skunk. We love you, man. We love you. And I still love your sunglasses. Anyway, Christian Basil loves the Dark Mistress. And Joe Dog McKeel says, arguing with internets on the internet. Oh, let me start this over. I know it's going to be good. Arguing with idiots on the internet is like playing chess with a pigeon. No matter how good you are, the bird is going to poop on the board and strut around like it won anyway. That's true. That's true. That is true. Yeah, and I'm seeing a number of people who I never knew their political leanings, and frankly, I didn't care. Suddenly, they're militant on both sides about this, and I'm like, calm the hell down. It's like, it's hot-headedness that got us into this. But that's the one thing we did talk about the other night in Uncle Carl's green room, and if you'd been there, John made some points. And we all, God bless everyone in that room. Sometimes we agreed to disagree, and that's fine. But anyway, check out Stupid O'Clock this coming Thursday at 9 p.m. Also, check out Joe Dog's new show. Now, I want to make sure I get this right. So I wrote it down. Lunchtime at the Doghouse tomorrow at 12:05, Thursdays at 12:05. It is the complement to Nevermind the Furthermore, so you can get a little bit of Rising Tide 4 days a week, Monday through Friday. And occasionally you see us on a Saturday. We'll probably or a Saturday night will be Stupid O'Clock, so we got every day but Sunday covered. And in fact, actually this week we will have Sunday covered, because this coming Sunday I will be on indievolt.com with Randy Zimmerman and Daphne and a whole bunch of wonderful people, and we're going to be talking about Sunday Funnies. So please join us this Sunday. And if you're wondering if it sounds halfway fun, tell me after you watch this.
Now, every Sunday morning, longtime independent comics creator and Indie Volt podcaster Randy Zimmerman hosts a discussion on the lighter side of comics, the more whimsical and fun comics out there, on the Sunday Funnies. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on Indie Volt, indievolt.com, the Indie Volt YouTube channel, and the usual Indie Volt sites on Facebook. Listen in, won't you? Participate in the chat. Let's have some fun. See you there.
Join Randy Zimmerman and myself this coming Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. And we're going to talk about fun comics, the way comics should be. And Charles F. Millhouse from Facebook is saying toxic, extreme people are social are blocked. No time for that. Brings down my writing vibe. Mine too. And it's funny because this whole thing, I keep hearing, oh, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave. Hey, everybody, I'm staying at the door. I'm going to leave. Who's going to stop me? I've only had one person drop me. I think either they left or they finally realized that I'm not going to join their parade of toxicity. And I'm seeing it from both sides. It's not just one side over the other. But, it's crazy. But anyway, I know the thing about censorship. People try to censor me all the time. Gospel Jake, you need to, and I think everybody needs to look up what censorship truly is. You have the right to speak, but you don't have the right to be heard. Places like Facebook or Yelp or the MeWe or wherever you're at are considered under the law to be like as if they were in your house. In your house, you have the right to tell people to shut up. You have the right to throw people out you disagree with. And they're doing the same thing. Censorship is a function of government. When and what it says is the government can do nothing to prevent you from saying things unless, and there are specific areas where you can't. For instance, you cannot say things that endanger the public, like shouting fire in a crowded theater when there's no fire. You cannot say things about someone that will hurt their reputation. That's libel and slander. That's also not good either. Or if something, say, is a secret document and it's classified, then there are penalties for that. But if a platform, and I've had Facebook, I got a ding from Facebook because I put something on the, in fact, I didn't even post it. It didn't post it, and it was something that they thought was not up to their community standards. So it's like, I think we only get upset when they're taking it out on us. So now, as to whether Facebook is left-leaning, I would say, oh, hell yes, it is. And if you are, if you think you're going to a platform where they will not track you or monitor your conversations, one, you're wrong. Check out John Oliver's interview with Edward Snowden from about 3 years ago. Highly illuminating. And if you own a cell phone, they already got you nailed. If you're on your computer right now, they're following you. All right. And you have every right to be paranoid. Anyway, check out Cindy Kemp and all of her amazing works, as well as her fantastic newsletter. Dash on over to CKOEPP and buy all of her works or perish. Oh my God, Brian Rodman, thank you for the warning. I'm going to go out and buy everything she has now. Also, as a follow-up to her newsletter this month, she's been sending out art. She sent out a copy of Nick Tockert's art that was so gorgeous. I got to start using mine. If you're a Patreon subscriber, Nick Tockert would have drawn you in his own unique, beautiful style, which was really, really an honor. And he sent a couple like that for me. I'm truly blessed. But anyway, she also sent out a panel from her brand new graphic novel, and ooh la la, it is good. I'm seriously proud of Cindy Kemp. She has, I have tried to teach people how to write comics, and it doesn't take. There are so many ways to do it wrong. And for a while, I was working for somebody as an editor, and they said, well, train this person to write comics. I think they'd be good. And I'm like, no, they won't. They don't follow directions. So, so that was one of the reasons I left that position. I don't need the credit that badly. But anyway, but Cindy Kemp took to it. She did 2 drafts of her Animal Eye script based. It's a graphic novel based on her latest book release. And I gave her a ton of suggestions for the first one. She took almost all of them, and then the rest of my comments on her second draft were basically nitpicking or a couple things she overlooked. And I said, you know what? This is so good. On your third draft, if you don't want to send it to me, I understand, because it'll slow down production. Send it straight to your editor. I know you're going to nail it. And it looks like she did. I am so proud of her. CKOEPP.com. Please sign up for her newsletter. Bless you, honey. And Jeffrey Hayes, good morning, Nevermorians. Make it a great Monday. PlasmaFireGraphics.com, when the look of your book matters to you, because it does matter to your customers. If you can get them to pick up your book, you've gone a long way in nailing the sale. And Jeffrey Hayes will draw, and his amazing work will draw viewers to your readers to your work like a magnet. He does such great work, and he and I are going to be working together this year. Looking forward to that. And check it out. We will be showing his ad later on. And hey, Sarah, not much just having to drive in this horrible rain. Skunk Rocker, again, please be safe. All right. And John B. Pica says, and there came a day unlike any other day when the question was asked, wouldn't it be cool if you could just get together on a Saturday morning with your best friends, sit down with a big bowl of cereal, watch cartoons, and talk about cool geek pop culture stuff that you love? And the answer was a resounding yes. And the Back of the Cereal Box podcast was born. It's the only podcast fortified with 8 essential vitamins and minerals. So let's open the box and see what's inside. Check out johnpica.com. Check out all the cool stuff Big Daddy Cool does. You'll love it. And Carleen says, Jake, you know nothing about true censorship. If you were truly being censored, you wouldn't even be here. Yeah, that's true. Now, that's a problem. A number of people, that's a good point, Carly, that a number of people think that if they are not, if their message is taken down or they are not allowed to say it outside of the, a government censorship, government edict, that they are being censored. That word has become corrupted through misuse so badly. Censorship is where the government says you cannot say these things. For instance, there are governments that will not allow you to criticize them. But there are instances when you have to, like England has the Official Secrets Act. So if somebody learns about, say, a new weapon, they can't blab it on, YouTube or anything. That's why Edward Snowden's in trouble. He took classified information and revealed it to the public. And it's, people need to look up what censorship is really about. And the thing is, a lot of the people who are complaining, again, on both sides, on Facebook, they're still being allowed to talk. The problem was that there were, if some person is causing trouble, what the person did. Now, if I did what happened last week, okay, if I told a bunch of people, let's go down to City Hall and set it on fire, and a bunch of yahoos went down and with torches and tried to light up City Hall, I'm culpable in that because I started, I've set up the crime, basically. So that's what this is all about. It's a lot more complex than we can go into, and that we will go into. But that's a good point, Carly. Thank you. All the First Amendment covers is that you can't throw somebody in jail for saying something. It doesn't protect you from getting punched, kicked off Facebook, losing your job, etc. Good point, Grant. Good point, Grant Lankard. I appreciate that. And Sarah, Skunk, glad you got to where you need to go safely. Please do, my friend. And that is very true about the censorship, Carly, says Sarah. That's true. We all have, in fact, here in America, even with the, even with places like Facebook and, MySpace is still around and they still have limits on what you can say. We all have limits on what we can say. Like I said, you can't defame somebody. You can't reveal government secrets. You can't endanger people. But you can still say it. But freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequence. And that's what this is about. And Skunk Rocker says, oh no, I drive for a living, Sarah. It's going to be all day with this garbage. Please be safe. Please be safe. And our air be with your family and your Aunt Sarah. And Carly, I apologize if I mispronounced that. Okay. Air be with your family and your Aunt Sarah, sincerely. And good morning, all. Mwah, Amy Hale, how you doing, darling? Good to see you. Hope you're having a great morning and following up from a great weekend. And you are correct, Grant. And oh, hell, Skunk, yikes. And Carly agrees with Carl, who agrees with Grant. And Christian Basil says, I think I speak for all of us, Dark Mistress. We all send our love, hopes, and prayers, positive thoughts, and love coming to you and your family from the Rising Tide family. Amen, Christian. You got that correct, brother. Also, don't forget, Christian, tomorrow night, 6 p.m., Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. He is going to be having some great shows available on YouTube and Facebook. And let's get a little break here and show you what that great show is all about.
This is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Also catch us on the HWWS Web TV YouTube channel. Subscribe today and become part of the legend.
Check out Christian Basil's show, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. He knows, you saw in that spot, he knows a man with attack eyebrows. You don't want to risk the attack eyebrows. Anyway, every episode is a delight. If you are at all into Doctor Who fandom, you will love The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And see? Become part of the legend. Also, sign up for their Facebook page. Over 50,000 happy people on there. Maybe a couple grumpy people because I'm on there occasionally. But anyway, check it out. Check out their Facebook page and give that page a like. And Charles F. Millhouse says, Amy Hill, hi, Amy. Have a great Monday. And Charles, I hope your boss lets you go to NonCon this year. And Brian Rodman says, let us shower the BKM with the green. Tip your host or shove dollar bills down his virtual pants at patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. Yes, thank you, Brian Rodman. Also, Brian Rodman is also on Patreon. Please consider supporting him. Also, a great number of you are, like Cindy Kemp is on there. Remelian, who's Anna Maria Salvaggio, is frequently on this show. Also, John B. Pica. Amy Hale is on there, a newly minted Patreon person. And it's a good way to show support for your favorite creative people. Nick Tockert is on there under the Historical Fencing Guild. It's a great way to show your support for people, and even $1 a month. You would be surprised how much we appreciate that. It all counts. It all makes us happy and makes us want to keep doing what we do for you. And John Pica says, the League of Impossibles are time-traveling paranormal heroes defending the space-time continuum against the forces of evil. Support their mission at patreon.com/impossibles. Told you he was there. And Amy Hale, thanks. You too. Will Schuyler says, I would love to chat with you about those tours, John. How was it? Did you capture anything? And Pops Van Zandt, all my good vibes, Sarah. Hey, everyone. Pops Van Zandt, we love you, brother. We do love you. And brother, if you leave Facebook, it's going to hurt so much. I want you to stay. You got to fight the good fight for us, brother. And never ever heard of Uncle Dudley Marvel. He's cute. Carly Carlene, he was a con man. I don't think we ever learned his real last name. But he was a con man who tried to attach himself with the original Captain Marvel family, who was Captain Marvel, Billy Batson, Freddie Freeman, who was Captain Marvel Jr., and Mary Marvel, who was Mary Batson. Well, anyway, he was what they called a lovable old fraud. He had no powers, and he claimed he had Shazam-Bago, which prevented him from turning, superpowered like them. But yeah, and he was kind of comic relief. He greatly resembled W.C. Fields. Well, the thing is, in one issue, in the actually the only time Black Adam appeared in the original run of Captain Marvel was in the Marvel Family issue number 1, and Black Adam had basically kicked the butts of the trio. Cap, Junior, and Mary were like, getting their butts handed to them, and Uncle Marvel comes in the end, and of course, he's got, Black Adam has the same word as they do, the magic word they do, and so he's, so Uncle Marvel comes in and he's like, well, we ought to welcome this guy into the family. We shouldn't be fighting. We should be one happy, loving family. After all, he gets his powers from Shazam the same way we do. And the guy, and Black Adam goes, no, it's not Shazam. It's not that. It's Shazam. Boom. And he's easily defeated from that point on. So Uncle Dudley is cool. Uncle Dudley is awesome. So anyway, yay for good vibes, Pops. Yeah, Sarah, we got to throw our yays in there too, Pops. We love you, brother. We really do. Joe Dog McKeel said, I heard a study come out a few years ago. 87% of men admitted they have pleasured themselves in the past year. The study also found out 13% of men are admitted liars. Yeah. Sometimes you have to take matters in the hand and solve the problem yourself. Willow Schuyler says, Charles F. Millhouse, I hope you both enjoy the interview despite the Brian farts and the fangirling. What do you mean farts? I didn't fart. I was particularly gas free last night. I was good. I was heckling. I always heckle. I heckle because I love. You know, Kara saw that a couple times and she was laughing. So anyway, but no, you will enjoy the interview, Charles. It was terrific. Willow did a super job of that. And I think I shared it, Willow, but if I haven't, please share it on the Rising Tide page if you would, please. And Grant Lankard, even though the First Amendment has limits, inciting violence is not protected by the First Amendment. That's true. I think the basic limit of the easiest way to say it is that anything that harms someone else, whether it is hate speech, or hate speech is not protected by First Amendment. Things that endanger people, like inciting riots or calling out calamities that aren't there, like fire in a crowded movie house, or things that defame other people, that bring down their reputation and try to hurt them socially, are not allowed. That is not part of the First Amendment. So, but and unfortunately, a number of people today are feeling very entitled and think that they have the right to do or say whatever they want with no consequence. And we see this a lot with the Karens, or the people who don't think they need to wear masks anymore. I was watching. And Willow, I was wondering if you were under this too. I watch a legal show on YouTube that's very informative and quite amusing, called Viva Frei, Frei, and he's a former Toronto litigator who turned YouTuber, and he was I don't remember where he was, somewhere in Toronto, and I guess whoever's in charge of Toronto, and again, I don't know the full. I'm blissfully ignorant of a lot of Canadian political connections, but they imposed because the My Sharona Miley Cyrus Peter pandemic was so bad in that region. They instituted a month-long curfew that between 8 at night, 6 in the morning, you weren't allowed on the street except to walk your pet, and even then, you had to have quote unquote papers. It can be worse, and there are a lot of nations that, but anyway, that aside, there are a lot of nations that even now we have more ways to express ourselves. And actually, if you want a platform that will allow you to express yourself, get your own website. Okay, and assuming that you don't violate your internet service provider's terms of service too. Now, I always try to stay positive. Brian says, "Gospel illusionist Jake, good. I've sent you DMs about situations I've gone through that put me to the ground, but no matter how big the storm, God is always with us, no matter how bad." Exactly, brother. We all will get through it, whether we have help from a higher power or just each other. That's what the Nevermorians are about. And sometimes all we have to do is agree to disagree. That some people are just not, meshing with our belief system. But as long as we can part as friends, that's the main point. All right. And Carleen, right again, Grant. Exactly. And Christian Basil, this censorship is practically Orwellian now. Christian, I'm going to disagree with that term. I do not appreciate any censorship of any kind. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, like saying, piss off YouTube. Yeah, that's right, by God. You tell them, Christian, if they'll let you. But anyway, but no, you want to talk about censorship? My phone is the worst thing. I have one of those voice to text things, and it won't let me swear. It's like I will, cheerfully call people rude names because we kid. Honestly, I don't call any. I don't really call anybody those names when I'm angry at them, because I feel I lose the argument when I start name calling. But I have some friends who we exchange obscenities, but my phone won't let me do it. It's like if I call somebody an a-hole, it is a asterisk 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 asterisk, and is F asterisk asterisk asterisk. So it's like my phone is censoring me, but you don't see me going on social platforms to bitch about it. Anyway, no activity last night, John Pica to Willis Schuyler, that I'm aware of, but you never know what our guest captured on film. That is true. That's true. And Carly mocks Christian with her laughter, but allowed him to say it. And I mean, I censor myself on purpose when I'm talking to Brian because I'm not a jerk. I should start censoring myself because I am a jerk. Anyway, Skunk Rocker, I do appreciate it. And I know some of us have salty language. Well, it's like when I was on Stupid O'Clock and when I heckle from the audience, I make sure I don't say anything that would put you guys in any sort of trouble or drive away any of your viewers. You know, it's like I was talking to a couple people recently about it, and they were amazed I was so well behaved on someone else's show. And I'm like, no, I feel I'm in someone else's house. And when I've been invited to be there and I am in their place of power, I do not feel I have the right to be rude to their audience or to my hosts or the panel or whoever. So like if you see me on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, or you see me on Willow's Pillow Talk, or Sunday Funnies, my language is pretty clean. I have slipped in the past. I'm trying to do better, but having seen myself, I have been very good for a number of months. And I realized it was because I was hanging out with people who were on the air and swearing a whole lot. And I just wound up not doing so many shows with them so much anymore. Because I feel it limits your audience. But, you know, I try to be polite when I'm on other people's shows. So anyway, Willow Schuyler, I have the affliction too, says Charles F. Millhouse. And it's official. Yes, Michael Keaton is going to play Batman on the Flash movie. That is exciting, Charles. That is cool. And I know you've done your research, so I'm taking that as gospel. That is great. Although I'm hearing Cyborg may not be in it. That'll teach him to say nasty things about the guy in charge of the franchise. Anyway, Skunk Rocker, we're our best censors, and no one else should do so. I agree, Carly. And the thing is, if more of us were better censors, then we wouldn't have to be worrying about terms of service, to be honest. And Skunk, imagine the rewrites I have done today. I just bet, Joe Dog, I can only imagine. And I use symbols because it's more comic book than asterisk. Me too, brother. Me too. And Sarah, you won't ever have to censor yourself around Brian in person, Skunk, just on the shows. Trust me, Brian has a major potty mouth in real life. I do. And I should probably be more sensitive to a lady such as in the presence of a lady such as yourself, Sarah. But no, I'm just real stupid some days. No, and I am trying to cut back on it. But sometimes I backslide. So anyway, and Scott Crocker says, "Oh, I know. I've been in the green room." Yeah, green room. You know, we were talking the other day about. Many of us put on like personas, and I think most everybody will agree who has known me in person or in places like the green room. This is pretty close to what I really am, except right now I'm not going to say, or I'm not going to call somebody up. Okay, glad for that 7-second delay. But in the green room, I'm usually not so polite. Thank you, Cookie. Anyway, we will say one word though. Anyway.
I'm not so polite then either.
No, you aren't, and I love you for it. So, you got to see her right now. She's like doing this Muppet thing. Love you, hon.
Love you.
Okay, thank you. Get your ass out of here. Anyway, uh-oh. Love you, dear. Love you. That's what we call good TV. And Sarah's getting a warning from Trevor Hawkins about spoilers. And Brian Rodman, pull the curtain back from this physical realm and enter the world of Memoirs of an Angel. I love that title. A horror fantasy comic book series about a ragtag group of infinite and finite beings who race through time and space itself to rescue a broken witch hunter from the clutches of the Dark Kingdom. It's Lord of the Rings meets The Exorcist. Join the adventures at brianrodman.com today. And this spring, Brian's going to be launching his Kickstarter campaign. So please check that out. And also, please check out Clever Title Pending tomorrow night. We're going to be talking to Karen Nicole about her brand new Kickstarter campaign her brand new book called Fire Bitch. The second issue is being financed on Kickstarter right now. It has gone well over its mark. But the thing is, you don't get the kind of dollars that for a Kickstarter campaign unless you have done everything right. Kara Nicole has. So if you have any ambitions of using Kickstarter to fund your creative projects, I definitely advise you to tune in tomorrow and question her. We will try to take as many questions as we can. We can't promise they'll all get on the air. That's just how Clever Title Pending's going these days. But please turn in your questions about creativity. She's also a writer, a stand-up comic, actress, model. She just does it all. She probably makes her husband Alfred do the dishes. You got to leave something for us mere mortals. But anyway, yes, definitely check out BrianRodman.com for all kinds of cool stuff. And Brian, there was a reason he was calling Palm Pilots. Well, that's true. And Clever Tile Pending tomorrow. I can't wait to see that guest. Yeah, I will admit, Kara is gorgeous. She is beautiful. She is a beautiful lady. But you know what? We all have known people who are shiny on the outside and a dumpster fire inside. Kara's not. She's got it together. She is funny. She is warm. She is a terrific lady, and she's smart as hell. You don't get to her position and not be smart, okay? And it was a great talk with Willow last night, with her and Lisa Malone, who's Kara's agent. So if you want to learn about getting an agent, having an agent, what an agent does, bring those questions too. If Lisa wants to show up on screen, we will let her, because she's a fun lady. I did a show, Unscripted with Phil Locklear last year, and she was on there. She was a lot of fun. Anyway, Carol was on Willow's show last night too. Definitely. That'd make a good fun anthology book, says Skunk Rocker. Oh yeah. Good idea, Skunk Rocker, definitely. And I typed Captain Hawkland and the Secrets of Monster Island on my phone when my computer went down several years ago. Formatting it to Microsoft Word was a nightmare. Oh, I bet, says Charles. I bet Charles F. Millhouse. Yeah, that's why I don't like doing anything on phones. One, because I see too often the I've seen people who do use their phones, and the inclination is to use text speak. So it's like, are you ready? And it's letter R, letter U, REDY, question mark, everything in lowercase. It looks amateurish. And also it's it's easier to make mistakes on that tiny little keyboard. I don't care how much you do this. I still see errors. And so I tell everybody, do not use your phone. Use a proper computer. Even a little tiny notebook is better than the phone. And if you don't know how to use a computer, then you bloody well better learn. All right. I will say that since 2012, I've learned a lot of stuff I didn't know back then. Why? Because I wanted to do well in this business. It's like, okay, I want to work at the local auto plant. I don't know anything about manufacturing, and I'm not about to learn. Guess what? You're going to get escorted off the grounds in about 10 minutes when they realize you're an idiot. Anyway, but no, we've grown quite a bit, Charles, you and I both. And, computers are the way to go. I don't use my phone for any more than I have to. Joe Dog McKeel says, I bet no one under 30 could tell me where the phrase for telling on someone is called dropped a dime on them originated. It's true, and I'm not under 30 though. And I was thinking 2011. No, it was 2012. I remember it distinctly. February of 2012 was when I went into business for myself. And I know Joe Dog McKeel, but then I'm over 60, and me too, Carly. I'm well over 60. In fact, I'm going to be doing an upcoming episode of Clever Title Pending is going to be on my birthday. And I was wondering, is it egotistical of me to think that I should be interviewed on my own show? But anyway, Brian Rodman says, I can't wait to go back to the Superman celebration of Metropolis. I met Margot Kidder there right before she passed. It is such a great show. Brian, I wish we knew each other back then, brother. I could have showed you all the cool places to hang out. Me and Trevor Hawkins both. In fact, I set up an Artist Alley Writer's Way a number of years. And I don't know I'll be doing it. Well, I don't know if there's going to be a celebration this year. Now, the reason why is that because this is an event that relies a lot on funding from local sponsors. Well, when the Peter pandemic happened last year, it closed down during that window where local businesses would take in money and say, hey, I've got some extra. I wanted to sponsor something with the Superman celebration. Well, a lot of these businesses were closed, because of the lockdowns. And, so the celebration didn't have any money to get guests or to, put on the things that the attendees have come to expect and love. So they decided not to have the event at all. Now, hopefully this year will be easier. Of course, it's in Illinois, so I don't know what's going to happen. But anyway, there is a Metropolis, Illinois. Look it up, people, and supermancelebration.net. Brian, if you get down there, you have got to let me know, brother. We are going to be we're going to be evil together. All right. And Brian K. Morris, Rising Tide Publications. I've become friends with Jason and need to chat with him. Yes, you do, Carleen. Yeah, I think you and Carl ought to set up a table there and make sure you're with us. Because Amy Hale will be there. I will be there bringing Cookie. And Molly Daniels will be there. So it's pretty much a lot of our crew. And if we can get, and Charles F. Millhouse was thinking about it, and if we can get our crew together, we would love it. And I mean, if you really wanted to be super sneaky about it, says the Skunk Rocker, you would just dial into a Watts line and blue box it, but whatever. The only blue box I've got around here is this one. That's true. And Cameron Christopher Payne, good morning to you, Cameron, from Facebook. Hope you're doing well this morning. Glad to have you here as always. All right. And so Will, Skylar, Ted, Carl, and Brian, I appreciate you gentlemen stopping by my show last night. Well, we appreciate you having it. It was a good time. And tonight, says John B. Pica, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, the Diesel Punk podcast returns with discussion about Shadow in the Cloud and special guest Bob Sally, writer of Broken Gargoyles. That sounds cool. Check it out on Facebook, the Diesel Punk podcast. It will be a fantastic show. Thank you, John B. Pica. And Joe Bachman on YouTube. Glad to see you, Joe. Good morning, my friend. Good morning, Nevermorians. Figure I'd come hang out with the YouTube watchers for part of this episode. Well, we're glad to have you. Be sure to give this video a like. If you would, please, it does help us. And thank you to everyone who's given us a like on Facebook, such as Karen Nicole. Mwah! We will be talking tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this folderol. Kathy Jackson, mwah! Go to Kathy Jackson's books and check her out on Amazon. Check out Kathy Jackson. And Ellie Mack, mwah! Glad to see you, sweetheart, always. And thank you, Pops, and William Pace, and Donna Carleen, and Cameron Christopher Payne for liking the show. And thank you to Jessica Johnson, mwah! Terry McIver, glad to have you here. Clyde Hall, Cindy Cap, mwah! CKOEPP.com. Amy Hale, Deb Longoria, Deb, mwah! And happy belated birthday to your husband. I forgot to wish him a happy birthday this week. Charles F. Millhouse, Will Schuyler, and one more that StreamYard won't tell me, but it is greatly appreciated. Thank you all. Because every time you like or love one of these episodes, it does help the algorithms. We do get a larger number of people who can see the show in their news feeds, and it helps everyone who leaves promotions. So, and Christian Basil says 14 likes, 17 watches. The Dark Mistress has pulled out the pointy six, and she's not afraid to use it to change your religion anally. Or did you mean annually? You change your religion annually? Aren't you supposed to? Okay, anyway, sorry I wasn't there, Willis, says Carleen, but my back was threatening me if I sat in my office chair a second longer. Oh, but it's a good interview. Like I said, Willow did a fantastic job, and Kara can do anything but pretty much anything but give a bad interview. So it was good chemistry there. And Joe is being told hello by the Dark Mistress herself. And Nick Tockard says Amazon.com/author Nicholas Tockard, because the Manatee Man got a plug. That's right. Fish got to swim, birds got to fly, and the Manatee Man got to promote. Anyway, Nicholas Tockard on Amazon. Also check out Amanda Tockard too, because she is a very talented writer too. And you're with the cool kids now, Joe Bachman declares Carleen. And Carl Witzman says, glad to help with my presence, Will. I didn't talk much, but she didn't need much encouragement. No, Kara's one of those people, you just say hello and then just sit back. I'm going to go out for pizza and beer while she's on the air. And Carly says, I saw 18 watching. 4 peeps need to like. And thank you, Carly. And only a fool is sure of anything. A wise man keeps on guessing. Joe Dog McKeel, that is so true. And, just like the the truly intelligent among us know they don't know everything, right? And only idiots think they do. And Willow, Skylar, Carly, you can watch it at your leisure on Facebook or YouTube. And True Willow, says Carly, I just like being there in person, so to say, and making snapping noises with my whip next to me and warning to those who haven't liked. I'm going to go back and like it myself. And for that, oh yeah, now we're talking. And comment dump. As we go back, and I see so many cool people I got to say hello to, and I thank you all for your patience. You guys have set me off this morning. Oh, let's see here, and I don't think I'm going to catch up. And 50,000 member, man, that's when Christian died. Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, back to your comments, and I'm sorry for those that Facebook didn't let me see. And Grant Lankard says, Carleen, our work is not complete, but extremely satisfied. And hey, Michaela, you writing in bed? If not, time to get up, says Carl Witzman. And there she is, Cindy Cap. If you haven't signed up for Rising Tide's newsletter, do that soon. Definitely go to risingtide.pub. You can sign up there, get a look at the books that we offer for publication, and also please go to ckoepp.com for the most interesting newsletter out there. And Trevor Hawkins is tossing the money at me. Oh yeah. And poor Cookie is having coughing fits. Is she okay, Brian? Yeah, she is. Both of us during this time of year have, like, it's not asthma, but we get congestion very easily. So, that's why I'm coughing, she's coughing, but we are otherwise in splendid health, and thank you very much. And Anna Maria Salvaggio, mwah, you and Cookie are so friggin' adorable. Hello, Cookie, mwah, she says. Hello, she says. Cookie says in return, Anna Maria, mwah, love you, darling. Glad you're here. Makes me happy. And Brian, the line is, hate to see you go, but love to watch you leave. # bring Cookie home. That's true. She looks good coming or going. And there she is, Michaela Jade. Mwah. But Carl, I stayed up late last night getting words down. Okay, I'll get up, and I'm not getting dressed. # naked typing. Pictures or it didn't happen, Michaela. If you want to keep your sterling reputation for honesty, you need to send them to me. But anyway, good for you, says Carl Witzman. And we could have a titular auxiliary bishop, says Trevor Hawkins. Well, let's talk to the Dark Pope about that. And I need to get back to the day job. I'll catch up with you all later. In the meantime, if you want to keep up with freelance words, episode 2 will land this Friday at patreon.com, ckoepp.com. Check out Cindy Cap on Amazon. Check her out on her own site, ckoepp.com. Sign up for her amazing newsletter, and please drop her some money on Patreon. Patreon is a monthly subscription where you can support your favorite creators on an ongoing basis. But it's not like you're just throwing money at them. You will be getting stuff in return. For instance, Cindy will let you see some sneak peeks of her books. If you support John B. Pica, you get to read his ongoing graphic novel featuring the League of Impossibilists. And Brian Rodman is putting up pages from his upcoming issue of Memoirs of an Angel. I've been posting chapters of a first draft flash novel called tentatively Ebony Terror. I'm working on a better title for it. And we are just a few chapters away from getting it written in real life. And we're releasing 2 chapters a month. And probably if I get far enough ahead on my other writing assignments, I may start dropping a chapter, maybe 3 chapters a month. Who knows? But $1 will get you a mention in all of our publications as well as our gratitude. And if you pledge $5 a month on top of the gratitude and your name in all of our publications and upcoming audiobooks, you will get to read chapters in my oncoming work. And for $10 a month, we're slowly uploading PDFs of our works for you to download and read at your leisure. So please check us out. Check out Cindy Cap. She's got a great Patreon page. Also, Amy Hale, Nicholas Tockert, the League of Impossibilists, Brian Rodman, a whole bunch of us doing this thing. And Anna Maria Salvaggio is Remelian. Lovely, lovely work from her. And we have titles to bestow, except on me, Trevor. I reject all titles. And until the roof gets fixed, I'd rather have the S word than rain right now. I still have some office ceiling left, says Carleen. Well, so far, so good. I mean, I think this week, for the most part, it's at least here in Lafayette, it's going to be cold, like around freezing, but not extremely moist. Sorry, Amy Hale. And who needs clothes, says Carly Carlene. You go, girl. I agree. You go. Get that camera. And Michaela Jade is liking this idea. Gospel Illusionist Jake is probably wincing in pain listening to us talk. But anyway, I've gone through lots of stuff the last year, and recently it got to me bad last week. I broke down screaming, God, please get this stress away. And right that moment, it was all gone that quick. I'm glad you had that pressure valve there, man. I really am. Me, on the other hand, you know, we've all had challenges here. Remember, though, pressure makes diamonds. You know, think of your favorite biblical heroes, and none of them had it easy. You know, Job, Jesus Christ, Daniel, Solomon, Samson, any of them. They all had trials and tribulations, and sometimes maybe you are put through them so that you are made to grow, you know. And what do you mean fixed, Do you mean fixed, Carly? Or is your roof going to have to go to the gym for a while to get fit? Good wordplay there, Sarah. Well played. And since Grant is now the Dark Ambassador, we can now call him Foster Grant. Old sunglasses brand, says Trevor Hawkins. They're still around, I believe. And said Carly Carlene, damn typo. Yeah, it needs fixed. Got to call and see when that might be. Yeah, definitely. And Rick Bradley, good to see you, brother. That's okay, Cindy. Come lurk in the shadows with Lamont and myself. Or is that Kent? Anyway, no fun, Carly. Love to you, and you're well. And thank you, Carly. And Carly Carlene says, not acquainted with stress personally. Must be my paganism. Oh, I don't know. At one point, I considered myself an agnostic, and I found the stress was every bit as much as when after I had my conversion. So anyway, it doesn't go away. My friend Amber said it best last night. Says Skunk Rocker, this is not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure. Oh, give Amber a hug for me. That is brilliant. That is great. Joe Dog McKeel, all those nights when you've got no lights, the check is in the mail, and your little angel hung up by the cat up by its tail, and your third fiance didn't show. What is that from? I know what you mean. Yeah, I can hear it in my head, but I can't think of the whole routine. All those nights when you've got no lights, the check is in the mail, and your little angel hung the cat up by its tail, and your third fiance didn't show. What you gonna do, buddy? What you gonna do, Mac? Anyway, Skunk Amber is smart. Yes, she is. And Carly agrees. That's a good way of putting it. And Gospel Jake says, I've had Facebook take down some of my Bible posts because it says it goes against the rules on there. But come to find out, it wasn't that bad when it comes to what Mark allows on there. Yeah. Well, I've told the story. I got a video one time of somebody was posting a video of basically it was torture. And I'm not going to describe it for the early part of for this early morning crowd. I'm not going to describe it. If you want to PM me, I will tell you what it did. But I don't have a copy of that video, and I hope never to see it again. But keep in mind, I have a high tolerance for that sort of thing. And I reported them to Facebook. But anyway, if Brian Robbins says my FBI agent must be one of the most bored humans on the planet. Yeah, well, my NSA agent drinks, and it's all because of me. Christian Basil says, bring Cookie home. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Carl Wisman says, reminds me, I'd like to apologize to my NSA agent for not covering my webcam last week. Sorry, dude. Oh, man. He's the one doing the Joker pencil game on his eyes, right? And evidently none know that reference. I don't. Enlighten me, says Joe Dog. And lyrics. Oh, lyrics from Everybody Knows Your Name. Cheers theme. Oh, okay. I knew it's from there. I was thinking of another comedian who would do those things about, has your wife left you for the fourth time this week? Has your dog started peeing on your leg? And all these various things. He had several variations of this. Is that what's troubling you, Bunky? Well, then the brass band begins to play. Well, hold your head up and take a walk in the sunshine. That's who I was thinking of there, and that is the ones I can show here. That's true. We don't want to copyright violate. And cool, Joe, I don't know all the words, says Carly Carlene. Yeah, well, the thing is that you might remember the Cheers thing was actually a hit on the Top 40 radio. Grant Lackert says, I would say the Edward Snowden thing is a gray area because his argument was that the information should not be classified. That's true, but that's not for Snowden. Although I think he did a public service. That's not for Snowden to decide. That's a court thing. And in fact, here's a bit of information. About 99% of all government documentation is all automatically in the public domain. You can use it however you want. You can check copyright.gov for that. But some things are classified. And again, that's one of those things that that's why we have the Freedom of Information Act. But also, we've had times when people have released, like, say, there's somebody that dumped a list of like CIA agents and where they were stationed. That's a no-no. That gets people killed. So yeah, I don't think it's that gray, to be honest. It does point out our security measures, and as such, when you know what the parameters are, you know where to attack. So anyway, Grant, that's my opinion, and we will agree to disagree. I don't think it's that great. But anyway, we'll listen to you guys here, though. A business needs to have the right to refuse to serve folks, as Nick Talkard. Without that right, I could not refuse art commissions I deem inappropriate. Twitter, Facebook, etc. are losing huge potential ad revenue by banning DJT, but chose to for potential safety or liability issues. Yeah, because that stuff can cost you. And you don't want to get to the point where you're like the big pharma places that, you've been making opioids and you're killing, hundreds of thousands of people a year. We're going to fine you several $1 billion. And they say, okay, fine, here's several $1 billion. We'll just increase the price of the opioids to make up for the loss. It's all part of doing business. So, yeah, I agree. You need a mechanism by which you can rid yourself of people who you don't want to work for, or people you don't want to use your service. Like if somebody comes into, say, a restaurant and starts getting loud, threatening other customers, or just, being a Karen, which I hate that term because I've known like 3 or 4 Karens in my life, and each and every one of them have been intelligent, lovely people. But it's, as usual, it's the idiots out there that are dragging down the curve. So yeah, I agree. There needs to be a mechanism, and Facebook at the heart of it is a business. And if they're saying, okay, we're not going to allow this, we're not going to allow these people on, that's their right. And I think it's a Supreme Court kind of thing, because they ruled long ago, I couldn't tell you the name of the case, but I know it's out there, that basically it's a private enterprise. Just like if you go to the post office, it is a private enterprise. It is not a public place so much. And that's why if you go in causing trouble, they have every right to ask you to trespass you, it's now called. And if you don't leave, they'll call the police. So anyway, and what do you do when you lose everything, asks Michaela Jade. You fight like hell to get it back. Warriors Worth is coming March 2021. We have got to do some promo for that, Michaela. We have got to get that going. And I agree with Sarah. That does sound awesome, Michaela. Joe Dog McKeel says the day after tomorrow is the 3rd day of the rest of your life. Carlinian proverb. Love it. Oh, cool beans. And Christian Basil says, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's about the way that big tech enforces its own rules across the board. If Twitter actually enforced its rules, there would be 6 people left on Twitter. Yeah, well, yeah, and that's the thing. Twitter doesn't, and look at what a trash fire it's become. I don't go on Twitter anymore. There's just too many people that should have their computers wrestled away from them, frankly. And James Sims, good morning to you. Glad to see you, my friend. Good morning to all you hooligans. And remember, Omni is still funding on Kickstarter. Check out that address there. Check out James Sims' work. Looking forward to that, James. Thank you very much for that. And Carlene says, no problem on the mispronunciation, Brian. You're saying it the American way. In Europe or most parts, the hard vowel is the second vowel. So, Okay, so IR, is it a short I or a long I? You can tell me in person sometime. And thanks, Michaela. And Christian Basil says that none of them would be politicians, celebrity, or so-called journalists, social media employees, not anyone on Twitter. Hey, and frankly, you're listing most of the people. I'd just as soon dump off of that service and make it palatable for the average Joe or Jane. It is the sort of thing. Why do I care if some person that lives in a $50 million mansion with armed security is telling me how unsafe I am. It's like, what, you get your information secondhand. So yeah, I am disgruntled. Anyway, Joe Dog McKeel says, I guess my typing will be limited the rest of the show. Baby girl dog is in my lap demanding two-handed attention. Well, Sarah sometimes can be. Never mind. Anyway, Charles at Millhouse, I will be at NonCon, Brian. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, Charles, and we got to make sure all the writers are together. I think that would be awesome. If nothing else, we will all have fun. Cutting up and being creative. And Michaela is mocking Joe with her laughter. And Carlene, savor that, Joe. I've been missing it very much the past few days. I'm walking away. And you're welcome, Michaela. And Maria Salvaccio says, yep, love Patreon. So many ways to connect with community. And there is Remillion. That's Anna Maria's address on there. She's also on Twitch, I believe it is. If you want to put a link to your Twitch channel, please do, hon. I want to see you get some eyeballs in front of your work. Yeah, and Remillion does some incredible art. Oh my gosh, I wish I was that talented. But she is incredible. I love her to death. And the Eric Hawkins says, we seem to be confusing freedom of speech and censorship. Thank you. Censorship is the suppression of speech, public communication, or otherwise. Censorship can be conducted by anyone, not just the government. Well, to a degree, but it's mostly the basic idea of censorship is that the government does allow you free avenues of expression. Now, if a venue like, let's say, Facebook or Twitter decides that they do not want a certain kind of communication on that platform, that's their right. They can. Now, the thing is, the people who violate that suffer the consequences. And Facebook and Twitter, for making those limitations and maybe seeing their people walk away, they suffer for it. So there are penalties. It doesn't excuse consequence. And the thing is, I'm just wondering of all these platforms that are popping up, like Parler and stuff like that, how much they'd feel about, like, say, what if the left wing wanted to try to take it over? Would they be so accommodating? So it's a rocky road there, man. We are in troubled times. And yes, it is. I agree with Carly. It is true. Censorship, I just tend to think of the classic definition that we are allowed to say what we want to. But if I say something offensive and I lose a YouTube subscriber, I've said it, but I suffer the penalty for it. Too many people that I'm seeing want to be able to spout off without any sort of consequences, like the Karens of the world want to tell everybody, don't wear a mask because I don't think I look pretty with one, so you can't wear one either. It's now suppression, that's another issue. Suppression, I think, is more the term everyone should be looking at. And here we go. Teresa Dunn is ignoring us, thank God, saying, I am here typing my beautiful words if you are wondering if I left. Over half done. Good for you, Teresa. That's what you should be doing. And Uncle Dudley is a con man, unlike W.C. Fields. No wonder he's so cute. Exactly. Except he will work with children and animals. Uncle Dudley will. And Christian Basil, 17 watching, 16 likes. Who are you? And Carleen says, Teresa Dunn, good going. John B. Pica, sorry, gang, I have to take leave. Busy day at office with the angry boss. You tell that boss to talk to me. I'll straighten him out. I'll give you preferential treatment. So anyway, John, good luck to you. Have a great day at work, brother. Have a fine, fine day. JohnPica.com. Check out what he does behind the cereal box. Anyway, Grant Lanker says, keep up the good work, Teresa. Definitely. And Jessica Johnson, mwah, glad to see you. And Douglas Deck, glad to see you too. What's happening? Nothing. We've just been waiting for you, man. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope your morning's going well too. And Jessica Johnson has a link to Heroes for Kids in Perrysville, Missouri. I believe that's in July. Let me check my notes here. I think. Well, anyway, it's sometime in 2021, and I will be there if the state will let me. And I found out this weekend that my neighbors all have COVID. It's sad to see this is so real and still happening, says Teresa Dunn. Yeah, and some places like Great Britain and Toronto, I think it's Toronto, are having like serious lockdowns. And especially now that we are seeing in America the new the new variant of the coronavirus that is more infectious than the previous one. So I keep telling you, people, stay safe and stay smart. I mean it. And thanks, Grant, says Teresa Dunn and X&G Studios Incorporated. Glad to see you, Joe. Morning, Brian. Hope all is well. I need to talk to you about your availability to be on from the desk of a small press publisher. You mean that great show on YouTube from the X&G Studios Inc. channel that everyone should be subscribing to? Let's talk. Seriously, let's talk. Well, let's come up with the date, all right? I would love to be on the air with you, man. That would be so much fun. And Manitoba, says Willow Schuyler, wasn't under any curfew, but my provincial government has issued a closure of all non-essential businesses, and we can only shop for essential items, which is subject to interpretation. Yeah, that's the problem. We had that for about 20 minutes here in America, and it's like, I know some Walmarts, for instance, roped off areas like some areas of the store and made people, like, basically you had to walk in a circle around the store, and when you came by your section you better grab it then, because you weren't allowed to go backwards. Well, that didn't last too long because of the yahoos, I suspect. They had you walking down certain, aisles in a certain direction, which I can see. I can see that would help social distancing, as opposed to somebody walking towards you and staying in your line of fire. Now, that reminds me, I do want to give a compliment to the Who Hot restaurant, the Mongolian buffet here in Lafayette. Yesterday, Cookie and I went in, and they were allowing us to serve ourselves from the buffet line. Now, they made us wear gloves on both hands. They had hand sanitizer on place. They had limited some of the items to ensure that we could walk around and reach everything. Not a reach around, Christian, shut up. Whereas before you could walk on either side of the buffet and the sauce line and then get in line. Whereas this time you all were on one side, and there was somebody, I was getting myself, of course I'm with Cookie. It's no secret, we're together. But there was somebody who came up behind us and was practically on my shoulder. The guy that was servicing the buffet line was restocking it, went up to him and said, "Sir, you're going to have to step back about 6 feet and wait for these people to get down to the end of the bar before you can approach." And they were monitoring the traffic. Everything was marvelous. They kept everyone safe, and I was really proud of Who Hot. So if you have a Who Hot near you, I hope you are given the same amazing service. And Douglas Deck says, remember that your posts are forever. That's true, especially now with cancel culture. And cancel can always swing the other way, too. The Skunk Rocker says, hey, Brian, you can turn that off, but it's complicated. Google it. And there are like 3 different settings related to censoring naughty words. I do have that on the Rising Tide page. I'm not allowing certain words on there. I want to see if StreamYard ever gets something like that, get their own 7-second delay. And Teresa Dunn says, some censorship is a good idea when some people say things that are toxic and act stupid. I'm finding it hard to disagree. And Brian Robin says, when you come on the Dastardly Dingoes, you're at home. Take off your pants and cuss out our viewers all you want. If they're watching our show, they're already a glutton for punishment. Oh, Lord. And it's like you saying, well, you folks have endured enough here. Now, here's our special guest, Torquemada, who's taking us up to the next level. I love your audience, Brian, and I embrace them as if they were my own. I like to put my slobber all over them, which isn't safe, but then no one's complained yet. And 75% of 2020, says the Eric Hawkins, was plagued with riots, burning any building they could, murder, rape, and extortion. It was incited by many government officials and celebs, but was considered free speech. Eric, I'm not giving them a pass on it. I really am not. I agree with you completely, in fact. Like I said, I'm not saying anything bad against the conservatives. I'm saying bad against the conservatives and the liberals, the extreme ends. And that's the thing. President Nixon, for all of his sins, used to talk about the silent majority. And I think that's where you and I are, for the most part, and most of the people here, that we're kind of in the middle, maybe a little more towards the edge than others, but we're not doing stupid things. We're not telling people, hey, go put some bullets through the your local Republican Republican Party headquarters, which happened here in Lafayette. We're not saying go burn down your state house, which some people did, and attempts were made to happen. Wednesday night's shenanigans were not the only thing that happened. Like I said, down here in Lafayette, somebody put a few rounds into the window of the Republican Party headquarters downtown. What if someone had been there? You know, and there's a lot more that I'm finding out went on Wednesday night that I don't want to see these people pardoned. I want them to be punished to the fullest extent of the law. I really do. And I appreciate the language efforts, as Little Man is usually watching with me. Well, Nick, tomorrow night on Clever Tile Pinning may be a little iffy. I'm letting you know that right now. But anyway, no. And the Tuesday night show can get a little more blue than the morning show, but we try to do our best with that. But thank you, Nick. I appreciate your appreciation. And I said this on Reels and Heels on Saturday. I'm the reason we won't be picked up for public television. Don't look at me either, Willow. I've been on public television. You don't want to be there. You think Washington's full of politics? Try getting into public broadcasting. I got tales. I got stories. In fact, politics was one of the reasons I left. You know, and it's one of those things that once you start playing the game, you can't stop or you get run over. And that was my problem. I had a burst of conscience. But anyway, Anna Maria Salvaggio says something witty here. Will Smith said during an interview that his grandmother once found his rap lyric book and told him not to lower himself by using curse words, that it wasn't necessary. I agree 90% of the time, but I'm also an ex-Navy wife and can swear with the best of them when it's appropriate. And publicly online, I prefer being family friendly. I do too. I'd rather be naughty and do innuendo, but I'm not going to tell everybody the non-clinical terms for the stuff I find amusing to watch. And I still need to come hang out in the green room. Yes, you do, Anna Maria. It is made for you. And Anna Maria loves you, Cookie. Thank you. Love her back, she says. And hashtag love to Cookie from Trevor Hawkins. Thank you, brother. And you need a second camera for Cookie moments. She does not want to be on air. She really does not want to be on air. She's actually been on air on one episode because she had to leave for work and she accidentally walked in front of the camera. Now she does I about said expose herself in the green room, but no, not, I wish. But anyway, no, she does show her face occasionally in the green room. So if that is an incentive for everyone to hang out, nothing will be. And yay, Cookie, says Teresa Dunn. And Carleen goes, get him, Cookie.
You bet. Thank you. I don't need any encouragement.
Yeah, I know, that's a problem. And Grant Laker says, I always wanted to see a Dark Knight Returns movie with Michael Keaton. I know you don't like that comic, but it blew my tiny brain when I was 12. Well, I was significantly older, Grant. No, actually, I was in my 20s when that came out. In fact, when that came out, I think I just turned 30. And there are some moments in Dark Knight I do enjoy. I think it's a terrible Batman story. The only two that might be worse might be Death in the Death in the Family. I love Jim Starlin's work, but that script just does not hold up when you look at it in the light of reason. And I don't like I really am let down by the last page of The Killing Joke. Otherwise, up till then, it's a great story. Great art, superb story, but that last page ruined it for me completely. And All-Star Batman and Robin, which I will contend is the worst comic book put out by a mainstream publisher in the history of comics. It is terrible. It is pretty pictures, horrible story. But anyway, screenshots of spousal abuse done, says Carl Wisman. Thank you. I need evidence. And Cookie gave Brian the finger, said Christian Basil. Won't be the first time. And Anna Maria Salvaggio says the disembodied Cookie hand coming in was awesome. And she's over there now going, you've made the next 3 hours of my life a living hell, people. And she's grinning at me from the other studio. Love you, honey.
Love you.
Help you make lunch eventually.
Good.
Yeah, okay. Let's get started, though. Anyway, XG Studio says, I'm lost. Why are we worried about colorful adjectives when we speak on other shows? As long as you respect the host rules, I wouldn't worry about such things. Well, that's it. Frequently, Joe, I don't know the rules. I try to watch the shows, so I get an idea. But by the same token, I want to be better than a good guest in their domain. So that doesn't mean I won't speak my mind, but it does mean how I say it will probably be different. And I think also, swearing does limit the audience we reach, because some people just really don't want to hear it. I took a poll last year of the Nevermorians, and a significant, not a majority, but a significant number of people said that they don't appreciate hearing the F word or the S word. And I have slipped a few times. And tomorrow night, you're going to be hearing the B word a lot. So take that under advisement. And that's why I'm putting it out there, that we're going to be talking about that book. And it has the B word in it. So if you don't if you don't appreciate it, you are warned. But when I go on other shows, I try not to swear. And I do better sometimes than others. But no, and colorful adjectives, I think are most effective when judiciously used. So, and that's the thing, also by the same token, if I go on to Stupid O'Clock, I'm not going to talk about religion. I'm not going to talk about politics. I mostly don't talk about them on here. But like in the last week, politics has become the 800-pound gorilla in the room. And as long as we can talk about it civilly, we will talk about it. And that's fine. And Carl, who was the abuser? Really? Oh, you shut up, Trevor. Anyway, the Dark Knight Returns movie could have Michael Keaton as Batman, William Dafoe as Joker, Bryan Cranston as Two-Face, Melissa Leo as Catwoman, yeah, and Bruce Greenwood as Superman. That's an interesting choice, Bruce Greenwood. Although I want only one. I want Henry Cavill. I want him to be Superman. I loved his Superman. I don't think he was always well served by the writing he got or direction, but I think he was. I think he could, honestly, I think he shows signs he could be this generation's Christopher Reeve, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's one of those things where I don't think Batman was in character in The Dark Knight Returns was the thing. He was, and he's not been in character in any of the sequels. And the second Dark Knight Returns was wretched. Again, it's up there with, The Killing Joke and All-Star Batman, as far as I'm concerned. And that's the funny thing, when some of my favorite Batman stories and my least favorite are by Frank Miller, and I love his Daredevil. I totally love his Daredevil. And from my point of view, Cookie was provoked as Willow Skylar. Oh, you gals all stick together. And most husbands abuse their wives by being around, says Carl Witzman. Okay, then I admit I'm guilty as charged. No, Willow, I'm kind to my woman. And she is kind to me. Nonsense provoked. I don't provoke her anymore, and I do the rest of you. Oh, anyway, moving on with your comments, not saying a word about what Carl said. Yeah, see? And all women are beautiful, says Teresa Dunn. Now that I will agree with. And Gospel Jake says, in all honesty, I have two managers for my magic shows. I made my parents my managers because they know me the best, and I don't want to leave them alone. I'm a mama's boy. Well, good for you. That's all right. I was kind of a mama's boy too, so that's all right. But we had a good support system. And Joe Dog McKeel says, I was asked yesterday to make a choice between A and B. A, remained in lockdown with my wife, or B, I quickly chose B before they had time to say it. It's kind of like me deciding to be a journalist because it had no math requirement. And many of the major decisions of my life were decided that in that same nanosecond. It's like, I want to write. Well, okay, you can be liberal arts or journalism. I said, okay, what's the difference? Well, there's no math requirement with journalism. And I said, okay, fine, I'm a journalist. Let's move on. And Sarah says, I'm so glad you're close to your parents, Jake. I am too. I mean, I know a number of people who do not have a good relationship with their parents. I had a great one with my mother, not so good with my father. So I do approve and I appreciate being close to one's parents. And you should write a book about marketing indie books or comic books, Brian. I'm actually looking at doing YouTube videos on that and assembling them eventually down the road. The easiest way is just keep talking about them. Don't let up. And Willow Skyer says, Brian, I'll interview you on your birthday. Okay, let's talk about that. You could be the host of Clever Title Pending. I insist. And I can run the board. I can run the board to make sure that it goes out on all my platforms and everything. But let's talk about that, Will. I think it would be fun. This way I can see what I put you all through. Anyway, and that's a great idea, Grant. I would love to. Well, as it is, Grant and Sarah. No, I am not shy about sharing what little I know. And I would interview you on your show, Fez Boy, says Christian Basil. Willow and Christian, do you want to, one or the other, or both? You both could be on here. Christian, you could run the boards then. I would stand back and let you do it. And Carleen likes this. And the next Superman celebration, I'll try to be there, and we shall hang out, and there will be much rejoicing in the streets or panic in the streets. Either one works for me. Carleen, Rising Tide Publications trying to get Michaela to come with us to non-con. Oh, hell yes. She would have fun. We had a good time. Let's see. This will be a 3-day show. Last year's was 2 days. And let's see, the first day, and I won't say we made a crap ton of money, but we had a marvelous time. It was a great venue, lots to learn. And if you want to do psychic investigations, that's the place to go, or talk to people who are in it. It's a marvelous place to go. But we also got some people that were interested in the creative stuff too. And then we went out that night for dinner. At a wonderful Mexican restaurant, and it turned out most of us were staying in the same hotel, the Holiday Inn Express, which I would go back to. That was a really nice place. And I liked it because down the same road on the way to and from the venue, there was a Walmart if we needed anything. That's where we got the delicious mac and cheese for Amy Hale. I'm sure she enjoyed it. And also, to give you a clue what kind it was, mac and cheese do mac and cheese do. Anyway, and they also had a Tim Hortons and Lee's Chicken. It's like all my dreams fulfilled in one within like 5 miles of each other. But anyway, I'd love to see you guys there. We need to make this a Nevermorian event. And I love Margot Kidder. She put so much attitude into Lois Lane. I 100% agree with you, Grant. She was magnificent, and I've met her a couple of times at Superman Celebration. She is a darling. She really was. Lovely to her fans, funny as hell. She was Lois Lane. She was Lois Lane. And Gospel Illusionist Jake says, O'Brien, I meant to tell you I was performing a marketed magic trick to the creator of the trick when he's a 45-year-old magician. He asked, what is that method? I told him it's your effect I was doing. Yeah, sometimes, it's like years ago. Sometimes we were too close to realize that we're the inspiration. Years ago, a friend of mine was in a play in Danville, Illinois called The Three Angels. There was a great movie, I think, with Humphrey Bogart in it, and my friend David Laker played this one role, and he was a flamboyant man who talked with his hands all the time, and it was a little outrageous. And I told Dave, I said, that was great. You did a great job. And he said, did you recognize who I was basing it on? I said, no. Who? He goes, you idiot. And I'm like, oh, okay, now that I think about it, yeah, thanks for the shout out. And so years later, in fact, it was the night I had my first play produced at Red Mask in Danville. I was having drinks afterwards with the lady who directed that show. And she and I were talking, and she said, Brian, you seem so familiar. I said, you directed The Three Angels, didn't you? She goes, yeah. I said, then you've seen me. And she just looked at me like, I was like, oh my God, it's him. So anyway, Carly's keeping track. Only 20 watchers there's 20 watchers on Facebook, but only 16 likes. Folks, if you like what you see and hear, even for a half second, please give us a like on the interview. It helped, or on the video here. And please like, subscribe, and share. Or much even better, have Christian interview him. He may have fewer brain farts and not fangirl as much. Darling, I can't see you fangirling over me at all. I am not worthy of your fangirling. I'm likely to do the very same to you. I'll fangirl over you all day long. Let's all three talk about it. I think this could be fun. And I am going through my partial projects, says Nick Tucker, put on hold for the Hybrids RPG product. Does anyone seem to have hit a wall at a given word count? Scrolling through, I seem to love to pause at the 3,500 word count. Advice welcome. That's I think mine is more getting started with the word count, because I try to block out the fact that I've got a book to write. And I've got a book that I'm writing for someone else later this year that I'm going to have like about probably a 60 to 75,000 word count. And knowing that, books like Sandestein to the Contrary, available on Amazon, I tend to like to kind of give the reader their money's worth, if you know what I mean. So yeah, but more or less, it's the idea that I've got like X thousands of words to write. Will I be able to stop? So that's mine, but that's an interesting dilemma. Let's hear from the rest of the creative community. And Carl Witzman, I'd volunteer to Brian if needed, or have Willow do it. I'd stand up to all of your inquiry, and then you could do clever title pinning and tell me how easy it is. Anyway, Brian Rodman, what a great show once again, everyone. Thank you all for all you do, Brian. Brian, back at you, brother. May the force be with us this week, folks. Don't wait for this week to be yours. Make it so. Thank you, Brian Rodman. BrianRodman.com. Not only great advice there, but a great creator. Thank you very much. Check out Memoirs of an Angel and The Nebulizer, coming soon to Kickstarter. It's going to be so much fun. Hashtag feed cookie. Hashtag laugh like a super villain. I'm all over that. Oh, Cookie's got that down to a frightening degree. And here we go. Comment dump. Okay. And Sarah says, everyone needs to interview Brian who has a show or a newsletter. This could be fun, like 5 minutes with Brian and you're out the door. And Scott Cracker, I think Carl should interview Brian on his birthday. I mean, to quote one of the best Bruce Waynes ever, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. That's true. It will be nuts. You can put yourself in the rotation too, Skunk Rocker, and I mean that totally with love. Joe Bachman, time to get back to work on this iOS project and filter through the 13 tabs of It sounds like me trying to fix my router over the weekend. Joe, thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate you and hope you have a great rest of your week. Hope to see you on Wednesday, if not tomorrow. And I agree, Double S says NGC Studios and Funny Skunk. And Will Schuyler says, I'm all for throwing a birthday party for Brian on my show. Well, we could do this thing. We could talk about coordinating. And TED Talks Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Attitude is altitude. Be there. Ted Davies Artistry on YouTube. Also check out Ted Davies Artistry on Facebook and teddaviesartistry.com. Great shows, these TED Talks. Digging them. And they're a part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. I'm proud to say, I really am proud. These guys approached me and I thought this is a great idea. We can do some good together and help everyone rise. And Will Schuyler, it can be the theme of a train wreck because we know we won't stay on track and derail frequently. That's kind of a given, Willow. And Joe Dog McKeel says there's a second part of the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none it is. Often better than the master of one. Cue music, the more you know. And what track asks Sarah? How about a theme or a dumpster fire? Well, we can provide part of that at least. Here's the theme to our shows. So there we go. There's your screen capture, everyone. And we got it. Anyway. So yeah, and New York Toy Fair has already been canceled for this year. What's next? Eric Hawkins, I have no idea, brother. I am waiting for more shoes to fall. To be honest, I'm not seeking out any new shows in the first half of 2021. If any of the shows that rescheduled want to have me as a guest, I will show up. But I'm not doing any new shows that I can think of. Well, there may be one exception, but it's a book show. But as far as any, comic book shows, cosplay shows, things like that, I am really not going out of my way to check them out. Well, like right now, I would have been setting up for a gaming convention in Northeast Indiana that fell through. There's also BoilerCon, which is usually done on the University of Purdue campus, and I've not gotten one word about it, so I'm only assuming it's not happening. I had one show that was rescheduled for February in Carbondale, Illinois, SalukiCon. They rescheduled to February, and then Southern Illinois University canceled it and has, as far as I know, canceled special events, except for maybe sports. I don't know, for the foreseeable future. So it's going to be an interesting year. And plus, I am also making a promise that I am probably going to be a little more guarded with the number of virtual shows I do this year. I am probably not going to. If you want me to do one, and I've never done one with you, you may have to sell me on the idea, because that takes a lot A lot of effort, even for virtual. And Will Schuyler says, I have to start work right away, but your emotional support Canadian will be around this evening to offer any virtual hugs. Take care, my friends, and have a good day. We love our emotional support Canadian. That's what you are. And we love you, Willow. You are awesome. Thank you for that great interview with Kara Nicole last night. I've got a lot to live up to tomorrow night. So please take care. Have a great day at work, sweetheart. And we love you. We do. And extremely moist, Dark Mistress. And virtual hugs, Willow. Hashtag moist. And Joe Dog says, wow, that time already. Don't die, feed Cookie. I know. And don't die, feed Cookie. Wait, feed Cookie. Have a blessed day, my friend. Much love to you and Cookie. Back at you, Jake. Have a fantastic one. Jessica Johnson says, good news is Heroes for Kids Comic-Con is scheduled for July 17, 2021 in Perryville, Missouri. Proceeds to benefit the Missouri National Veterans Memorial Wall and the St. Jude Children's Hospital Research Hospital. We do have spaces available. Just a few that will be there include Brian K. Morris, Kathy Jackson, Philo Barnhart, Charles D. Moisant, Matthew Ashley, John Anderson, and many, many more. Please be one of them. I would love to see all y'all there, especially for the after hours. And Skunk Walker, sorry I wasn't paying attention. I didn't see that, Joe, but I recognized it as soon as Brian said it. Well, that's good. And Joe Dog McKeel says, I had one of my pictures posted reported as offensive. It was my camper with the American flag waving in the breeze. So every time it pops up in my memories, I share it proudly. Good for you. Post it on the Rising Tide page. Let's piss some people off. And yeah, I'm trying to drive here, says the Skunk Rocker. We're not helping at all. The Eric Hawkins says, if you haven't seen Claremont's X-Men on Prime, you should check it out. It's pretty entertaining. I've heard about that. I would watch that. I've met Chris Claremont a couple times. He is a great guy. I love him. And Carl Westman says it's in the fine print of all those things you click agree to. They can kick you out. Yeah, and who reads the terms of service other than me? And Carlene says, even though I know several great Susans, I prefer Susan to Karen because my brother's bitchy widow is Susan. I will say it for you. No need for a 7-second delay there. Yeah. Anyway, bring Cookie home, feed Cookie. Carl Wisman, thank you. And Carlene says, I was thinking of using my Twitter account for extolling my books, but now you have me wondering if I should. I don't think anyone will notice is the problem. I put my works on there. In fact, I stopped putting my newsletter out there too. Because one, I want people to subscribe to it and not read it gratis. It's not like you pay to read my letter. Just a little bit of your soul gets chipped away, I think. But anyway, no, sign up for my newsletter at risingtide.pub. Right there it is. Or if you have Facebook Messenger, please direct mail me your email address and I'll sign you up myself. Next issue goes out February 1st at 5 p.m. We have special videos that are only my newsletter subscribers will ever see. You won't. And we might start talking about you. But anyway, we share what's going on in our minds right then, such as it may be. But please sign up at risingtide.pub and enjoy. We do not give away or sell or trade your names. And trust me, I do censor myself. You really don't want to know what I could be saying. I can only imagine, Carly. Probably between you and me, we turn the air blue between them. I'll straighten them out. Brian channeling in this inner Frank Rizzo. That's right. Rolling up my shirt sleeves. I'm going to do some justice here. Charles F. Millhouse, everyone have a productive day. Go forth, create, and change the world. Visit Stormgate Press for updates on his work. And Pulp Reality #2 is gearing up production right now. I've got to do my share today and looking forward to it. Check out the work of Charles F. Millhouse. You will love his Captain Hawkland series. It is great. Rick Bradley, everyone, take care and stay creative. You too, brothers. Stay safe out there, all right? And tomorrow night at 6 p.m., says Christian Basil, the legend of the traveling TARDIS, New Year, New Who, the Doctor Who starter kit. Make it a New Year's resolution to get a friend and yourself into Doctor Who as our Doctor Who starter kit on our episodes on the best gateway drugs to make you that someone who wants to watch into a Whovian. # become part of the legend. Check that out at 6 p.m. tomorrow night on Hanging with Web Show and Wizard World Networks. Great show. Really proud of you, Christian. You do a great job on that show. I love watching it, love being on it. And Sarah, extreme. Okay, we're moving on. And Gospel Illusionist, before I go at NonCom, I'm going to be bringing some really awesome biblical illusions. There will be some photo prints. Excellent. And I'll be bringing some new product myself. And tomorrow, says Joe Dog McKeel, on lunchtime at the Doghouse at 12:05 p.m., 11:05 a.m. Central Time, I will talk StreamYard and what I have learned of the integration with Hopin Yes, StreamYard is about to be taken up. They've been sold to the Hopen Corporation. Plus your comments and shameless plugs. We will be there, Joe Dog. Looking forward to it. And Glenn B. Fleming, sir, we got to pick a time for you. Just dropping by to say hello, Brian. Now back to drawing. I have a heavy deadline, 4 pages for the weekend. Yikes is right. Holy cats. You bet. Well, I hope, Glenn, you've been picking up some Kirby tips on how to make that pencil fly without burning up the paper. Dude, Glenn B. Fleming, check him out on Amazon. Great stuff on comics and more. And he's going to be on Clever Title Pending. We've got to schedule that time. As soon as you get this thing done, Glenn, let's talk about when to have you on, okay? And swearing isn't necessary, but it sure is fun. Yeah, on other people's shows. And it adds flavor. Yeah, in person. But like I said, the one thing is there are kids who use Facebook, and I don't want them going, hey, mommy, I just saw this guy wearing a funny red hat and a bow tie talking about what I see Fifi and Fido doing in the backyard. So anyway, well, I'm proudly not safe for work. Same here, which is probably why I'm self-employed. And Night Shadow from Wisconsin? Okay, and the B word, no, not that one. There are many others. And Scott Cocker, well, that's why when I put up my advertisement for Scrub House, I always try to point out that it's web MA mainly for language. No, I agree with that. And, warning people is a good thing. I support that entirely. And if you want to use the kind of language that I'm trying not to use on here, no matter what the provocation, like current events, as long as people are warned about it. And I figure tomorrow night, the fact that I'm talking about Fire Bitch Comics should give everyone a little indication. Although last night on Willow's show, she said the interior contents are pretty PG-13. Now, there's some covers that are not. So anyway, caveat. Anyway, Skunk Cracker, yeah, we do the same thing for the Drunken Rant, mostly because of that silly Aunt Donna. Oh, that Aunt Donna. We love her anyway. And Russell Allen, good morning, Nevermorians. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. And how do you nature your audience? Excuse me, Philip Thompson, I'm not sure what you're asking there. If it's mature, my audience is not mature in the least. But anyway, good to see you, Philip. Hope you're having a great morning. Got it, Brian says. Christian Basil will maybe get shots for it, Christian. I will interview you on your birthday. We'll both be on our birthdays. Stay extremely moist. Maybe you. I can't do that to you guys. And Christian Basil, maybe better your birthday sweet than your birthday sis, especially if the sweet has booze. Thank you, Carleen. I'm not going to rewrite any of Christian's posts anymore. They're more fun this way. And I will be releasing the Kraken. Oh dear God. And do like Christian Basil, I've already done that this morning. Oh, you mean on his birthday? Hey, I encourage drinking on my birthday. Drinking irresponsibly. And Monica O'Leary, good morning, Brian. Monica, how are you? Hope you're doing well, sweetheart. Darkest Honor on Amazon. Please check out that book. And good morning, everyone, from Monica O'Leary, Indianapolis-based writer, and she's awesome, and I love her, and we got to get together sometime when it's safe to do so. Nick, I usually burn out around 2 words, says Skunk Rocker. Pace yourself, Skunk. Pace yourself, brother. And going for round 2, and we're doing it this time, please click the link and hit notify me. I'm launching February 16th at Patreon, Xenonenai Titan, the fall before the first in the series there, and it's a great looking book. You really ought to take a look at that when he launches that campaign. But you can get advance notice if you follow the link that Russell sent you. And Grant Lackert says, I forgot to mention that the next issue of my newsletter is coming out on Wednesday. Sign up at monarchpublishing.net. I am, and I'm a better person for it. I was a wretch before. And have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Brian, for all you do. Ted Davies, brother, thank you. And we're looking forward to that TED Talks tomorrow, followed by Joe Dog McKeel on the Rising Tide Broadcasting Network. And we've almost got that page finished. We can use that as a platform as well. And Joe Dog timed that perfectly, says the Skunk Rocker. Carl Weston says, good show. Bye, everyone. Carl, thank you for being here. Thank you for being the voice of reason. When we start getting too political, I should listen to you more often. Skunk Rocker, yeah, Brian looks like he's trying to rush through the rest of the comments, so I'm going to leave him with my last one here and not track the show on any longer. Don't die, feed Cookie. Much love. Love you too, Skunk. I really do. Check out Stupid O'Clock Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. respectively on YouTube and Facebook. A proud contributor to the Rising Tide Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And don't have a Monday later, Gators, Donna Carlene. Thank you so much, sweetheart. And Grant Lanker, Jack Kirby's advice for drawing as fast as him. Step 1, be a genius. Step 2, repeat. Yeah, seriously. If only we had that covered. And it's my birthday Friday, same as MLK, Martin Luther King. Oh, cool. Well, happy birthday in advance, Glenn. We'll have to remember that on Friday's show. And Heather Ellen, good afternoon, Heather. I hope you're feeling better this morning. I know you didn't do your show last night because you were not feeling up to it, but I hope you are feeling much better today, sweetheart. Good to see you here. And have a great day, everyone. Thanks for the great shows, Brian. Russell, thank you for being here. And thank you for your shows, too. Russell does a great interview show on Sunday nights. You need to check out. He's really, really good. And appreciate you a lot. So take care, Russell Allen, and get on that Xenoneni Titan Kickstarter campaign. And have a good day. Love you, buddy. Love you right back, Grant. You have an excellent day yourself, and make a lot of art today, brother. In fact, all of you, make some art today. Do something creative, all right? And Heather, have an awesome day, an amazing week. Heather, if you're a part of it, it can't help but be awesome. Thank you, sweetheart, for being here, even if it's just for a moment. So anyway, we're going to take leave. We're going to get Cookie fed here so that we can interview Kara and Nicole tomorrow night on Clever Tile Pending. Please check it out. We hope you enjoy the show, but she is an incredible lady. She's not only gorgeous, which is kind of obvious when you look at her, but she is fiercely intelligent. I don't know why she puts up with me being a friend or whatever, because I'm such a dolt. But anyway, no, she is brilliant. She is a stand-up comic. She ran for office at one point a few years ago, and also she because she saw the need for someone like her. And we do need someone like Kara Nicole in our lives, because she's clever, she's brilliant, she's encouraging, she's positive, upbeat, she's naughty, she's everything we could like in a Nevermorian and do. And anyway, she's going to be on the show tomorrow night to talk about her brand new Kickstarter project, Fire Bitch. The second issue is currently on Facebook, or not Facebook, but let's get her some attention here. There we go. Let's copy that. Okay. And then coming back here, and we're going to put this in the comments. Please check out the Kickstarter for Fire Bitch. It is really looking like a seriously good book. A lot of variant covers on there. So if you like something a little more adult, or you like something PG-13, Kara's got you handled there. Plus, it's going to be a great story. Wonderful art by her husband, Alfred Trujillo, and just all kinds of wonderful stuff from Kara. And she's already funded. She asked for $2,000. She is up to $47,937 with 463 backers and 4 days to go. So please check out the link that we have just posted, which is kickstarter.com/projects/AZ Power Girl /Firebitch-2. She is the Arizona Power Girl, and when you see her, you will. And she doesn't just do Power Girl. She is an amazing cosplayer, one of my favorites, actually, and even better because of the fact I know her, and she's an awesome lady. So please join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. And no, 6 p.m. tomorrow tomorrow's going to be a busy broadcast day. 8 p.m. rather, Eastern, 7 p.m. Central for Clever Title Pending with Kara Nicole. We guarantee you'll enjoy her. Anyway, tomorrow we've got TED Talks at 10 a.m. We've got Joe Dog lunch at the Doghouse at 12:05. Then we've got Legend of the Traveling TARDIS at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then myself with Clever Title Pending at 8 p.m. And it's going to be a full day. You just might as well just call in tomorrow and just sit by your computer and watch YouTube all day. So anyway, thank you all. And I love out of you too, Sarah. I really do. I don't talk to you enough. I need to start our conversations again. But anyway, sweetheart, hope all is well with you. And we hope all of you have a sensational rest of your day. And walk away from the computer for a while. I was offline for almost 24 hours over the weekend by necessity because my router died or was dying. And it was pretty therapeutic. So take that time. Take a moment and just reach out and tell somebody you like them. Talk to somebody you haven't talked to in a while online. Let them know you care, that you were thinking of them. Check in on somebody who maybe can't get out of their house. just do something, make today a better day. Okay. I think we all could use that. So please, folks, have an incredible rest of your day. I'm going to go feed Cookie, and she will do the same. We need more caffe. Don't forget we have a merch shop. Anyway, thank you very much, as always, to Plasma Fire Graphics for sponsoring today's episodes. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. If you need advertising, book trailers, or the covers of your books themselves, contact Jeffrey Hayes and see what he can do for you at plasmafiregraphics.com. Also on Facebook, please give that page a like. Also, thank you to our Patreon subscribers for helping keep us going. And if it weren't for these guys, I don't know if I'd have a new router today. But thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone who contributes to our paypal.me tip jar. You have also helped a lot to keep us on the air and hopefully sharing your message and, if nothing else, distracting you from the headlines of the day. So thank you all, and love you all, Nevermorians. Love you too, Christian. I really do. I tease because I care. And if you guys want an next non-com, I'm going to have you and Cookie in one of my magic videos. Oh, well, you'll get me, but not Cookie. That's the way that works. But anyway, thank you all for being here. We hope you have a sensational rest of the day. Please do what you can to stop the negativity. If nothing else, create something wonderful that we all can enjoy. All right, because we're going to hit the typewriter later this afternoon. And we're going to be also editing one of our audiobooks. Yeah. And writing stuff. It's going to be a great day for me. Looking forward to it already. So anyway, folks, thank you all for being here. Please join us tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for Kara and Nicole on Clever Title Pending. And tomorrow, a full slate of great shows on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, as well as Hanging with Web Show and other great venues. Please check it out. Thank you to Geek Insider for powering this show. We love you guys. Thank you, Meredith Logren and Meredith and Matthew. You guys are the best. And thank you to our Patreon subscribers. And as always, if you're watching us on Facebook, please, if you like this video, please give it a like if you would. On the Rising Tide Publications page or on my personal page. And if you're on the Rising Tide page and haven't given it a like or a follow yet, please do. We've got over 2,200 people that follow us, and we appreciate each and every one. New content there constantly, and we think you'll enjoy what you see there. A lot of cool people get to post on there. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, on the Rising Tide Publications page or on the Geek Insider pages, please, as always, like, subscribe, share. Please smash that thumbs up button, and please subscribe to the channel and tingle that little bell so you are notified of all future appearances that we make on YouTube, where the sound and picture are better. And I hear the fire trucks pulling up. I smell dinner from downstairs. So anyway, it's time for me to take off. Thank you again, one and all. We appreciate each and every one of you and hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Please help make someone else have a fantastic day too. Don't give them a choice about it. You're going to have a fantastic day and you're going to like it. Deal with it. Anyway, folks, as always, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. I love the hell out of all of you. Each and every one of you have a sensational day, and we'll see you tomorrow night on Clever Title Pending, and Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. on Nevermind the Furthermore. Have a great day, everyone.
From author Brian K. Morris comes an epic tale of armor forged by a god, a hero forged by courage, and an ancient menace poised to re-emerge and threaten our world. Volcana, Rebirth of the Champion, is available on Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
Thank you for tuning in to Nevermind the Furthermore, a Rising Tide Publications and Brian K. Morris production. Member of the Comic Book Advocating Network and sponsored by GeekInsider.com. Become part of our show with sponsorship and advertising opportunities. For details, contact advertising at geekinsider.com or visit podcast.geekinsider.com. The Geek Insider podcast is available on your favorite app, so please hit the follow button and share it out to your friends, because if you don't, you might have to turn in your geek card.
Now, every Sunday morning, longtime independent comics creator and Indie Volt podcaster Randy Zimmerman hosts a discussion on the lighter side of comics, the more whimsical and fun comics out there, on the Sunday Funnies. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on Indie Volt, indievolt.com, the Indie Volt YouTube channel, and the usual Indie Volt sites on Facebook. Listen in, won't you? Participate in the chat. Let's have some fun. See you there.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kep at CKOEPP.com today.
Go thee to thy rest, O shades. Thou hast served well in life. Now take thy reward.
Choose high-flying action. Choose death-defying escapes. Choose spine-tingling thrills. Choose nail-biting intrigue. Now's your chance to choose the adventure. The Captain Hawkland Adventures. Available on Amazon.com.
Reels and Heels is a podcast that discusses movies, television, wrestling, and more. With a rotating guest list of friends and filmmakers alike, Reels and Heels salutes the creative arts of all kinds. Join Brian Winzeloff and Nicole Jobin live every Saturday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Reels and Heels.
From author Brian K. Morris comes a tale of irreverent holiday horror, told with much inappropriate humor. Dr. Victor Frankenstein creates the spirit of giving himself.
Ho, ho, ho!
Santastine, or the post-holiday Prometheus. Available at Amazon.com. Get your copy today.